Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. Besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fanfiction it inspires. I'm Kasey.
I'm Sandra, and today we're chatting with an author that's been creating OFC and reader insert fics for the SPN fandom since 2016. Beka, known as Impala Dreamer, was one of the first Tumblr blogs I followed way back in 2019. She keeps the fandom well supplied with over 1,000 fics to her name and also writes and publishes original fiction. She indeed lives up to her Tumblr tagline, Smutting People, writing Angst, a dreamer's business. We are looking forward to a chat about all things supernatural and writing. So huge thanks for joining us and welcome to the podcast, Beka.
Hi, guys. Yay.
Yay.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like tearing up on that intro. That's so
Aw,
sweet. Thank you.
well, I'm glad you liked it because I feel like you deserve it for writing 1,000 fics. I mean, anybody who can write 1,000 fics,
That's
I think
incredible.
deserves amazing, like standing ovation type thing.
Oh, thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. I mean, we appreciate it because I said a little bit before we started doing the official podcast that, you know, you're one of the first people I followed back on, I think it was Tumblr first. And then because this is like when I just found Tumblr and was figuring out the fan fiction, you know, the fic aspect of it was supernatural.
Yes.
And it was just like, you know, you'd see one person, you'd find a fic, and then you'd see like another person, and then you'd see like the connections being made and the people commenting like on the different fics. And they were so, it kind of reminded me, and I guess it still does, it reminds me a lot of sort of, the way MySpace, if anybody remembers MySpace, kind of way back, you know, like the way everybody kind of like made it their own page and stuff like that. Or for me, way back in like GeoCities days with like, you know, your own like little web pages and like your web rings and stuff like that. And it gave me that vibe. And I think from everything I've heard, Kasey and I think have like gotten into it maybe post like when everything was really like crazy Western style, like shoot 'em ups all over the place kind of situation. So it'll be fun to get a chance to like dive in and talk to you about like I guess kind of like the history really of
the history of Tumblr. Yes.
You know, we're going to get into
the Wild
it.
West. I like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's changed so drastically. I mean, I think, well, I was on Tumblr prior to being Impala Dreamer, and I think I posted my first fic or the blog like August 1st, like 2016, I think.
Wow.
So I was there for a lot of it. I've seen a lot of drama. I've seen a lot of changes. It's been a wild ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in there, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we like to start with a pretty generic question. When exactly did you get into supernatural?
So I had to sit down and really think about this because I couldn't remember. So basically I knew about it and I was a CW girl or WB, whatever the hell they were. And I'd always seen the commercials and the commercials were so stupid. I'm sorry. They made it seem so campy. And I was just like, I'm not going to bother with that. So I didn't. And then when it popped up on Netflix, I was like, all right, let me give it a try. And I think I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, no. And I came back to it at some point. I guess I just ran out of shows and I was like, let's try it again. And I stuck with it until, what did I say? Home, the episode in season 1.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I think I like this. And then when I hit Faith, it's episode 12. I was like, this is my show. I fell in love on that episode. It's still one of my favorites. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm in. And I binged everything and I caught up. I guess it was the end or the middle of season 11. And then it hit Netflix. I binged that. So I was live for season 12 watching that. So
did it take
beginning, but
yeah. So did it take you a couple years then? Like before, like, so you're saying Netflix, when it hit Netflix, was that like what, like 4 or 5 years after it was on? Or are we talking like 2010, 2011?
Yeah, like 2013, I think.
Oh,
like,
okay,
I came to it late. Yeah.
We're later though.
Yeah, no, you didn't. We're like 19. You're fine.
As long as you've watched it, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have people that are like, oh, I've watched since day one. You're not a real fan. You haven't watched since 2005.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But
But
I
I
was in
watched it.
high school. I had
Right?
shit
Like,
going
I'm
on.
sorry.
Leave me alone.
I was off having babies and getting married. I didn't have time for that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
like, you
you've
know.
gotten there. It's good.
That sounds a little similar to, I mean, I had that sort of like start and stop kind of a situation with it. Cause like I remember watching like the first episode or two with my husband. And then we kind of like were like the end of the pilot was like, wow, like, you know, that was like a shocking thing. But then it kind of like, you know, watched the next one, but then it just didn't kind of like pick that back up. And then I picked it back up myself, and then I got my husband into it. So I don't know what it is about like some people, it's like just right. Yes.
Bestie.
Yes.
You watched the pilot, you got to the end of the pilot, you were like, good lord, that woman's on fire on the ceiling.
Yeah.
You slogged through Wendigo.
Yeah.
And you watched Dead in the Water and went, nah.
No, I didn't even. I don't even think we got to Dead in the Water.
Oh,
okay. See, Dead in
like,
the Water is okay. Yeah,
yeah.
You and Dead in the Water.
Like Dead in the he's soggy, and he goes. I was just looking at gifs about this.
Yeah, we were literally just like looking at that a little while ago.
But
it's interesting, right? Like some people, I feel like they're like hooked from the very start, and then kind of don't. Or like my situation sounds like you too. Like I think too, it's if you're not into the horror. I don't know if you are, Beka, or not, but like horror is not the thing that kind of like grabs me right away.
I generally am. I don't know what it was about it that I didn't latch onto. It might have just been the time in my life. Like I really like had a baby. I wasn't really like focused on the TV. But once I got into it, I was like, this is everything. This is my show. Like I've never, you know, I've never really connected to a show like this. Like, yeah, I loved Buffy growing up and Dawson and Doctor Who, but damn, Supernatural, like he got its claws in me. And yeah, I'm never going to leave my babies.
It's lightning in a bottle, isn't it? It
really is.
No matter what you thought you were into before you got into this, you're like, I have never known love like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never known love like this before. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. My boys.
They're so babies. I love that.
My babies. I actually started watching because I was like, we're going to talk about it. And I'm actually writing a story right now that's like the end of season 3. So I'm like, let me catch up. And I put on, I skipped ahead. I forget what episode I put on. I was like, they're so little. Oh my God. Look at Jensen's bug eyes. Like my babies.
Yeah.
Nice
every
to
time
look
you
back.
watch it, or every time I start over, I'm like, they just keep getting younger. I'm like, oh, this is getting bad. There's so much babies.
No, honey, you're getting older.
I know.
That's what's happening.
Would you?
I know.
In our own house, they're getting younger.
I know.
Every time I see season 1 stuff, I'm like, somebody come get your kids. Somebody left these babies out here.
Oh my God. Are they old enough to drive? What is happening?
It feels worse, I guess, every time. Yeah, every time I start them up again, they seem younger. Like I just feel like I'm dealing with like high school kids, and I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Yes. When Dean says, "Dude, I'm 26," it's the literal, it's the equivalent of Ariel going, "But Daddy, I love him." Shut up! You don't even know. Shush.
Oh my God, you're so right. Wow. They're so cute. My babies.
Goodness.
Honestly, yeah. I'm 26. Of course I'm putting on my head. Shut up. Somebody can get your child. Yes.
Dude, I'm 26. No, you're not. Shut up. You're like 12.
You're a little baby. And the older my eldest kid gets, the worse that is getting as well, because they're getting closer in age. And I'm like, no. No. I mean, like, there's still like a fair decade between a dude, I'm 26, and like my eldest. But I'm like, no.
Yeah. My oldest is 17, and I'm just like, no. It's too close.
You're still looking at your eldest going, somebody come get this baby.
I know.
Let this baby out unsupervised. Yeah, I will. That leads us brilliantly into my question.
Oh God, I'm nervous. Okay, go ahead.
It depends what you've listened, because Sandra has stopped putting the actual question. Oh, I know what the answer is based on that now. So, gun to your head, who is your favorite Blobbo out of Sam and Dean? I have to qualify that now, because enough people.
Son of a bitch.
You have been like,
I was all ready.
If you just let people pick other than, no, the question is Sam and Dean. Who is your blowout out of Sam and Dean?
I had a funny answer all prepared and you ruined it. So obviously it's Dean. Now, I know that you are Sam fan. So I started with Sam. 100% with Sam. And who I watch, I love Sam. Sam is, I connect with Sam a lot. But as I've gotten older and the more I watch it, I'm like, well, Dean's my little snuggle bunny and I need to protect him at all costs. And so, it's Dean. It's Dean. I was going to say Rufus.
That would be awesome.
I'm sorry.
Awesome, Kasey would give you Rufus definitely if there is.
You can have an asterisk that says actually Rufus. I have a notes section in my document, but
would it be actually Beka, or would it just be, or would it still be Dean?
Honestly, like my husband and I, for a while, like we joke around. We're like, we're gonna write a Rufus and Bobby spinoff. And it's gonna be amazing.
I would watch that.
Right?
I would watch that.
I love them. I love the old men. Bobby, you can't not love Bobby.
No, he's an angel baby.
Exactly. And my angel. I love my Castiel, but yeah, Dean. Everybody loves Dean. God damn it, Dean.
This is the last interview of 2024. So the stats as they stand are 13 to 21.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You can put me in the Sam column if it'll help you.
No, because it won't be accurate. Well,
the one thing we're trying not to do, because I mean, initially, I think when we did start doing it, it did start to seem like, Team Dean or Team Sam. And that's not really what we're like, trying to go for, because I know that can get a little, heated too. But a lot of it is just like, Kasey was saying, just who was the one that really did like just dig claws into you and just wouldn't let go. I know for me it's Dean. I got into Supernatural because of Jared, but then why
must you hurt me like this?
Well, because it's an example. It's an example. But yeah, like Jared was the one that I knew from like Gilmore Girls and other stuff, and so he was like my entryway drug to eventually Dean, I think is how probably I would best describe it.
The next time you meet him, I insist that you tell him that.
No.
Oh, no. The next time I meet him, I'm going to tell him that.
Okay, he'll probably like it.
Can't be any worse than the other things I've told him, so it'll probably be fine.
I think I kind of did too. Like I knew Jensen from, Dawson, from a lot of stuff. And when I came in, I remember thinking to myself, and I didn't really know the fandom or anything. And I remember thinking, everyone must love Dean. So I'm going to go and I'm going to be all for Sam. So I watched the first time through going, Sam's my guy. We're going to watch this from Sam's point of view. Okay, cool. And then the next time I watched it, I said, well, let me see if the show's different if I watch it from Dean's point of view. And I kind of I don't know, Dean is in my head. Like Dean is always with me. I'm Jensen in that. Dean lives right here in my heart and I don't let him go.
Yeah.
But I still love Sam. You can't, I used to say I'm Bicester. You can't love one without the other. But
right.
No, that's
had
fair.
to.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say it started out quite antagonistic. Like, oh, you got to pick a favorite. You got to pick a favorite.
Oh yeah,
it has mostly because I got sick of people coming on the podcast going, oh my god, I just love Dino. Like, I don't know if you know the weight difference between a squirrel and a moose, but it's pretty fucking considerable.
Oh no,
my arms hurts.
I mean, I could sit and talk for hours about Sam too. Like, I love him too. I get him, and
yeah,
they're just great.
It's definitely changed more to like who do you like, who speaks to you more, who's your like soul character, but I'm a big old drama queen. I like to make a fuss when anybody's like, oh, just look. Well,
I think a lot of the fandom now is also like, who's cuter? Oh, Dean is like going to be better in bed, or Sam's going to be this, but no, that's not what I'm about. Like, yeah, I write more Dean, but I don't know. I'm like
49% about that, and I would like to point to Hart and I Know What You Did Last Summer and say he fucks like a beast. What is wrong with y'all? Dean might be more.
Dean might panther in bed. He is
fucks like a beast, like a monster, for real.
The joke used to be like you would die. Like every woman he sleeps with dies. You would survive a night in bed just because of him in bed. It's not a curse.
Yeah,
he will fuck you to death, and you will thank him for it.
Yep, 100%. And like, do I think Dean might be slightly more selfless in bed? Yeah, probably. But don't like you can't blanket that to be like, oh, Dean is better. No. Like a beast.
Listen, sometimes you want to cuddle and that's fine. Dean's gonna cuddle you, but sometimes tie me to the bed with your tie and
and let's have some fun. And I will say, for anybody who's about to come at me in the comments, I will balance that out by saying Dean is by far the better cuddler, 1,000%. 100%. And that's not even something he does by choice, but he's just a little bit squishier, just a little bit softer. He's just gentler to snuggle.
Squishier. He's touch starved. He just appreciates. I think honestly, my soul, he's a switch. He's a people pleaser. Like that's just Dean. Mm-hmm. But if you need to get wrecked, you go to Sam Winchester. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've definitely not written a lot of that. Anyway,
you're in good company. You're in good company. Sandra, we should probably change the subject immediately.
We're going to get real kinky here in a second. So
it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
I think we talked a little bit about overall like thoughts about the show that you said it kind of got its claws into you, that you do like horror a little bit. So that was kind of like a thing. What was it about like overall, like the show in general, just especially over the seasons and the series that kind of kept you coming back again and again?
I do enjoy the Monster of the Week aspect of like the first 5 seasons. And it's always interesting to, what are we going to fight this week? What are we going to do here? But the overall arc that it turned into, and it became a completely different show. I don't know how to even put it, like just following these guys. And we did watch them grow up and we watched them. They didn't change too much. Could have changed a little bit more as people, but just the story of what is happening with Sam. Why are we going to try to kill Sam? How many times is he going to get hit in the head? How many concussions has this boy had? Like, what is
he looks so pretty when he falls over and his head does the whoosh thing.
Oh my God. They both are beautiful hurt. When Dean's crying, pretty. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty.
I have that as a note for something else that I'm writing. That's just like collapses back on the bed. Sam in the Metatron episode, fush hair.
Oh God, yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I can get into that forever. The hurt Sam is my cuddle thing. I love him so much. Yep. But yeah, I think it's just like the dependency on each other and the drama, really. I love Angst. Anything, you want to kill a reader, I'm there. Yeah, kill me. That's cool. Watching, like, I live for Sam Angst. If there's an episode, one of my favorite episodes is Sacrifice, the season 9 finale. Sam is half dead. Give it to me. I want it. I want the angst. I want to feel the pain. It's just good drama.
Yeah. The relationship.
It's kind of, I don't want to victim blame, but it's kind of his fault for looking so pretty at the same time. Like, if he looks 10% less pretty, I wouldn't be into it as much. But he falls over a lot and his head is the whoosh thing.
Oh, God.
And he sweats a lot as well, which is
don't
really
even
nice.
With the sweat. I'm not going to get into Sam's sweaty neck glistening in the
and that little hollow where his collarbones meet, and
Shut up. That's my favorite. Shut up.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? We're best friends.
I think we might have just become best friends. Yes, 100%. Just gets like damp at the temples and in his throat.
I think a few times I've written about like licking the sweat off of Sam's throat, and people are like, "Why would you do that? That's disgusting." I'm like, you don't understand something.
You don't get it. Like we can't be friends if you don't understand why this is the thing.
Dip in his neck. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
we're professionals here.
Edit this.
Oh no, I'm not. This is
she's going to leave it in. She's going to leave it in.
Okay. Good.
No, that's all staying in because that's quality. That's
quality. You'll know because I'll say something really stupid and she'll go real quiet, and it's because she's furiously writing down timestamps to shut me up. It's usually me.
I'm curious. Is there, because we've had conversations about this too, is there like a season that if like somebody said you can never watch again. You'd have to take a season out. Is there a season that like you could maybe do without?
Yeah. I don't want to say it because I think everyone might have the same answer here, but I skipped season 6.
Did you?
What?
I didn't skip it. I've watched it. I said when I do a rewatch, I tend to skip most of season 6.
You guys were besties, and then it.
Okay, let me. Okay,
That was the quickest besties to enemies ever. Somebody write that down. When you say you skip most of it, when you say you skip most of it, do you mean you watch the beginning and you skip the rest of the fucking mess?
Listen, there's a lot in there that's not great. Okay, it's completely a whole new structure. You know, cinematically, it's weird. You got Dean fighting a fucking puppy in a fucking barn. Like, what are you doing? It's not great. I love Soulless Sam. So there are a few episodes that I do watch. The Truth, Honesty one is great. There's some the black and white with the spider monster gives me nightmares. So I skipped that one.
Oh, Unforgiven. Yeah, I have to.
I hate that.
That's the one where he has like the flashback
Oh
when he was
with the
Samuel
arachne
Campbell.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, if
I
we
have
could
to do
take
that
the spider
through.
thing out
Yeah.
and just do the bathroom sex scene, I would watch the episode, but
Yeah.
you can't.
I'm
So,
sure
but,
someone has taken that stuff out so that you could probably watch it without.
I don't have those gifs saved on my phone. Shut up.
I have something to send to you. So like
I'm in.
you gotta watch the Third Man because you gotta. And you gotta watch Clap Your Hands If You Believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
after
that's true.
that, I'll give you those.
I just overall, it's not my favorite season.
It's clunky, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. You don't know what's happening in the beginning.
There's like 3 finales in that. It's like
right?
You could
Yeah.
break the plot
we resolved the
lines out.
soulless thing, and
Yeah,
then there's
there's a
something
lot.
else, and then we resolve that, and then there's something else.
You forget that there's even like Eve is in there, like that she was a baddie for like
that's
maybe like 4 or
true.
5 episodes, and something else
Yeah.
happens.
See,
It's a lot.
Her ending
Yeah.
episode is one I would keep because I don't know if you've seen Jensen getting bit in the neck, but it's real fucking hot because he's kind of
That's
sweaty.
a really good scene. Yes, that's a really good
Is it?
scene. Yeah. Yeah.
Am I the problem? Is it me
No,
and
it's
sweat?
a good scene.
Yes.
No, it's a good scene. It's good.
I think I might have a sweat thing, guys. I think it might be me. No, I
Getting
like
hot
it.
over here. Yeah, I agree.
Have
There's
we
some
answered
spots.
this? Have we answered this, Sandra? Which season would you skip? I know my answer.
The more this is hard for me because there's one episode in this season that I would really want to keep, but if I had to take one out, I think it would be 13. Just because of Apocalypse
Really?
World. And I think that's when you can tell it's starting to be a little like it's starting to just go off into this territory of like losing. It's getting past its prime for me. And I don't like Apocalypse World for a bunch of reasons. Like I don't like the Mary and the Jack thing happening there. It's hard. Yeah. But see, I would want to keep Scooby natural. So if I could keep Scooby natural, that's fine. But everything else could probably go. I'm actually going to get ready to start that one. Yeah. So I think it's more just like, I don't know. I don't feel like they're not doing a ton in 13. So even though 6 is really mangled and there's some really good episodes in there, like The French Mistake, Clap Your Hands If You Believe.
The French Mistake was in
Man.
6. I might be about to amend my decision.
No, it is. It
You
is. in
guys
6.
are like taking me to school. Maybe I
Yeah.
do like 6. Yeah. Can we
but
just take out a few episodes?
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's like because that's the thing. Like if you're in a bind, it's like, but oh wait, there's this episode or there's this episode, and they keep doing that.
Yeah.
They throw in some really great.
There are no bad
episodes
seasons, just bad episodes.
towards the end that I think
That's
is
true.
really complicated.
Yeah.
So no,
Well, I'll amend it because you brought up a good point. I will keep season 6 if we could get rid of Mary Winchester.
That's okay, because mine was going to be season 12.
Oh,
For that fucking reason. I
besties
can't stand
again.
Mary Winchester. And also, it
Besties.
comes with the added bonus of not having to deal with the British men of letters. And
That's a tough one
You
too.
know, I
That's
have a
tough
Sure.
soft spot. I have a
You?
soft spot for my Brits.
Okay.
would not like that.
Which one in particular?
So I'm like in love with Nick Davies.
Oh,
Um,
Casey.
I don't know why. He just came and I was like, oh my God. But I have a
real
mutual
cute. I like
friend
Mick.
through David Hayden Jones. So we've chatted a few times at cons. We've hung out. So I do like, Catch is terrible. I hate him. But I do like David. So I have a soft spot for them. But in general, and I think they could have done so much more with that. And it's like everything they bring in, it's like Mary could have been really awesome. And then it was not. Jack could have been really cool and then was not. So we kind of got like the beginnings of good ideas and then the story kind of trails off.
I think that's just Supernatural in a nutshell sometimes. At least like after season, I really think after season 5, I think they were just, they kept really trying, a lot of different things. And again, some seasons I thought really because a lot of people didn't like, season 11 with the darkness, but I kind of liked that. I like that plot line, but some people don't. Some people just don't like that. But I liked that, I don't necessarily like how it ended, but I like how it, the way it kind of worked its way through.
I like the Dean Amara storyline there and him being.
And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like it, and I'm like, it's interesting.
That's really funny that when Dean gets his ability to consent taken away and gets dragged around against his will, that's suddenly a problem. But when it happens to Sam, every the fucking
okay.
Sorry,
I could go on for 6 hours about fucking Sam's consensual.
I'm already seeing we're gonna have you back for another episode.
100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I'm in.
Are you sure you don't want to change your answer to Sam, or is it just because Dean hasn't got going? Sandra hasn't got going with Dean.
Sad, they're both my boys, but guns ahead, I'm gonna save Dean. Sam will save himself. I'll save Dean so Dean can save Sam. So we're good. We'll all live happily.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's perfect. Yeah. What would you take if you were stranded on a desert island? Sam Winchester. Dean would find a way to rescue us. It'd be fine.
Yes!
We'd been there for a maximum of 7 days. And Dean would appear on some kind of garbled together fucking speedboat thing. And Sam would be pissed because he'd be halfway through building the most badass shelter out of fucking palm leaves and shit. And Dean would just appear on the horizon. It'd be cool. Be all right.
We have Wi-Fi because, I have hell powers.
Yeah.
So we have Wi-Fi on this desert island, so we could stay.
Yeah, it'd be all right. It'd be all right.
I just think his forehead is like a Wi-Fi signal when he's got that
God.
That's
You're so mean.
It does. It looks like Wi-Fi. It's so cute.
Wi-Fi signal when he does his puppy face.
It's cute. It's very cute. Okay.
Okay.
I think Beka. So I think we touched on it a little bit, but favorite characters outside of Sam and Dean, who are some characters that you just absolutely were oh my gosh, they're great, or oh my gosh, I can't believe they got rid of them. This is terrible. I didn't have enough screen time with them. Kind of a situation.
That's a rough one. Who deserved more screen time? It's rough to say. I did like Eileen a lot. So they did her dirty. Everybody towards the end of the show, they did pretty dirty too. I love Bobby, and Bobby could have stayed on forever. I get it, and it works the way he went out, but I love Bobby. Rufus. God, now I'm who else was on this show?
Yeah.
Joe. I don't remember. Joe Harvell was me in high school. So whenever I see her, it's this terrible cringe because I'm oh my God, I was just like her. Aww. But I do miss her. And I loved, she was great. There's so many characters though.
Yeah, she definitely didn't get enough. I think the storyline and I think just what, at least from what I keep hearing, what happened with, the fandoms, we don't want anything like that to occur with Dean, which you don't even know really what it was going to be, if it was going to be anything. Do you feel like she just protested too much about not liking Dean? I
always looked at it as I'm in love with you. I know you're never going to love me, so I'm going to put it off I don't care, but with my dying breath, you're going to kiss me as I'm dying.
And it's going to be the most emotional that anyone has ever been.
God, Jensen, what are you doing? Yeah. Goodness. So I always look at Joe with this kind of cringe face, but I do I did love her.
And she
There's
became
so
a
many
badass
characters.
too. You know, I think that's what was lovely too. But you only got a little sneak peek at that. Like, you know, how much she kind of came into her own before they were like, well, now we've got to get rid of her and Ellen. And yeah, that was just
oh, Ellen. Yeah. Now I'm like, God, I gotta watch it all again. I miss them. I do. God, I'm trying to think.
How many times have you? So have you? Okay, do you do like a full, like rewatch situation, or do you just pick and choose?
Well, if I'm going to really settle into it, I have to start at the pilot and watch to the ends. Like I can't jump around and skip. Okay. I've probably done full rewatches. I stopped counting at 10. I mean, it used to be just it used to be on a loop. Like there are episodes I could recite. My son, when he was little, fell in love with Mystery Spot. Aww. So literally he would come up to me like, 311, please. 311. I'm like, how do you fucking know and we put on Mystery Spot and do it.
That's so cute though.
Oh, goodness.
You've seen that about 1 million times.
Well, you know what? That leads into another question. It's pointless to ask you if you've actually finished the show because, good Lord, that's fucking. Where do you find the time?
Oh God!
Despite your repeated watches of Mystery Spot, like, do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, where do you stand on Mystery Spot as an episode and what it says about the boys?
I think it's great. I think it was part of the time when Supernatural could be funny and could look at itself and we're going to kill Dean with tacos and, you know, he's going to slip in the shower and die. Let's be funny with that. But also like Sam at the end, like he couldn't deal. He couldn't deal. And I think that was a major thing that we needed to see because at the end of that season, Dean's out, you know, and he's dead. And how's Sam going to deal with that? So I think as funny as that episode is, as good as it is, we needed it. We needed the drama at the end with Sam. So I appreciate that episode. And it's nice for a break, you know, and funniness.
Okay. That's okay.
I don't know if I answered the question. I'm just like getting in my feels right now.
You did.
Feels.
Yeah, you did.
What's your most favorite way that Dean died?
Within Mystery Spot?
Yeah.
Oh God. I think the piano falling is really funny. The one that bothers me though is when the dog attacks him.
I know.
He doesn't go for dogs. He doesn't like dogs.
But he's like, does somebody need a friend? And I'm just like, what is
Dean, no, stop.
I think my favorite is the shower, and I don't know why. What do you mean we can't go out for breakfast? You make me when it's Wednesday. I'm like, what is that? That's probably my favorite.
Oh, which is yours, Sandra? Which is your favorite?
It's the tacos. Do these tacos taste funny to you? Because I love the way it's. I've told you, I love the way it's cut. Like it's just edited, and you're just supposed to like how exactly like what happens after. Like, is it immediate? Does something else? Like you don't get any other context. Just do these tacos taste funny to you, and then that's it. And I'm just like, hit the look on his face, and then that they cut it. The editing in that is just. It's like. It's genius the way that was done. I love that montage so much. That montage is great.
That death probably took the longest out of everything. The other deaths were like instant food poisoning.
Yeah,
he suffered with that.
What would your so as when your son would watch it? Did he have like a favorite way that Dean died? Like, do you know? Like, did you like?
I think he liked the tacos, but the getting electrocuted, I think he always laughed at. And it kind of like, I think he's going to be like a mad scientist anyway. So when people die like that, I just kind of side eye him like, are you okay? Like, don't electrocute me. Okay. You're not going to see my skeleton. Like,
that's not how it works.
It's not going to work like that.
That's cute.
I saw a post the other day that was talking about the Sam when he killed him with the axe and how like casual it was. Like, everything's fine. Oh, Dean. Like, that was funny. Yes.
Well, I think if you, it's because you're not seeing it, right? Too. And you're seeing it from the guy watching what's going on and then the horror on his face. And then the fact that you really do see, I think you hear Sam scream like Dean or, like something like that. But it's just, it's so black. It's just the comedy. It's just like, it's so crazy.
It really is a really great episode. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Oh no. I keep making a friend and losing a friend.
No, it's okay.
It was a roller coaster.
This is emotional, guys. No, we're not losing friendship over that one. I've acknowledged that I am the outlier on Mystery Spot, and that's fine. And I have a favorite death. I think it's real funny, but it's too sad, guys.
What is it?
Oh, my favorite death. It's the day after, but it's when Dean gets hit by the car. But it's because when he's asking Sam about it the next day, he's like, "Did it look cool?" It sounds like you peed yourself.
Of course, I peed myself. Megan
hit by a car, control of his own bladder. Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, that was almost a win sync moment. That was too cute.
Yes.
That was great.
We're besties for life now. Although I am a huge fan of "Do these tacos taste funny to you?" Dean randomly dies in the shower. I'm a fan of them all, but it is that like bromance where he's like, "Of course I peed myself."
Yes, of course I peed myself.
Yeah, and Sam's just like so fucking done with it. You peed yourself.
Yeah,
really makes me laugh. But no, it's just so theorize with me. The ending of Mystery Spot. I've narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 options, but I need to write them down. So, do you think that everything that happened after those after the final death, those 6 months that Sam was on his own, do you think they actually happened in Sam and Dean's universe and the trickster sent Sam back in time? Or do you think they happened in an alternate universe and the trickster sent Sam back to his universe? Wow. And do you think Sam remembers those 6 months?
I've never thought about the universe it takes place in. I believe Sam does remember it, which makes it all the more painful.
Baby.
That's a toughie. Well, it was on a loop, and I don't think he took them out of the universe, but the concept of turning back the entire world for one day over and over again is quite a lot. So maybe he made like a pocket universe.
Yeah, that's that's what I think. I think it's kind of like changing channels where he teleports them to somewhere different, where he's like controlling it. And I think it was like that.
Okay.
But it's...
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he, after those 6 months, when Sam breaks in and it's Wednesday, did he put them back into their universe and Dean died and Sam lived the next 6 months and the trickster just sent him back in time effectively? Or...
Oh, man.
Was that still in the pocket universe? You know, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. That's one of the best questions I've heard in a while. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that one. It's funny because I'm actually writing something right now that's very Groundhog Day, like a loop kind of thing. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to think more. Oh, you're gonna have to consider it. I'm sorry, friend.
Definitely. That's interesting. Well, the problem is they opened up the alternate universe thing, with the rift and all that crap. So theoretically, everything on the show could have been put in a separate thing. Like, where do you end? Where do you start?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Continuity, not a supernatural strong point.
Not at all. Not at all.
Continuity, never heard of her.
Yeah. That's really funny because there's a season 15 blooper. I think it's when they lose their luck. And they're gonna cage fight, and Garth blows it up with C4, and DJ's hat blows off, and DJ's like, no, it's fine, I just won't have a hat, and Jensen's like, it's not fine, there's a little thing called continuity. Like, I don't know, did you get in the writers' room? Yeah.
Oh goodness.
My babies. I gotta watch some gag reels. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Next question.
No, you can't. We can't. We're on a podcast. Okay. But I think the next question, since you were mentioning writing, is I kind of wanted to would segue out of like the show because we could talk about the show for another 4 hours. But when did your love of fan fiction start?
Oddly, it started with Supernatural.
Really?
Really?
It really did. Okay. I was never into it. I was a book girl. I grew up, 8 years old, reading my Anne Rice and running around. So I always wrote, like people ask, like, when did you start writing? I'm not really sure because I was also a songwriter and I would do that. I would write poems. I wrote plays in high school. I started writing a novel, I think junior year. It just sat there, never did. So once I had caught up with Supernatural on Netflix, I said, I need some more. And I Googled and I found fanfiction.net,
Okay.
old school.
Uh-huh.
And I read everything I could find over there and I fell in love. And then I came to Tumblr and I was like, oh, there's more. Okay. Oh, look at you. So
This is where they all are.
Yep. They're all over here. And oddly enough, I never was on AO3 until recently. I was like, I guess I should put my stuff in case Tumblr implodes. So, but yeah, Tumblr's been it for me. And I found a couple people that I was like, oh, I like this. And then I was like, maybe I could do this too. And that's where we began.
So when you're talking about the writing, then, so what was it really just, because I mean, with the writing aspect of it, like I've done a little bit of original writing and then, you know, I kind of like, I had fanfic from like way back that I'd done and then I stopped and then I came back. But yeah, Supernatural was the thing that kind of like, so what were you trying to bring into it that you were like, did you get like a spark for a story? What happened that like, I can do this thing or I want to try this thing in particular? Like, was there a certain point when you were watching Supernatural that you kind of got an idea?
I'm not really sure if I could pinpoint a moment that I was like, oh, I need to get into this, you know? I think I really like thinking about the in-between of what we don't see in between episodes or, you know, when they're doing laundry, they've got to be doing laundry. They got to be cooking themselves dinner.
Yeah.
Like, and I like to think about that stuff. So why can't we see that?
About myself reading about myself in a laundromat.
There were a lot in the beginning that were comfort fics for me. You know, I was going through a lot and I remember, not to get crazy, but if you're in like a really dark moment, thinking, well, what if Dean was here and he talked you out of something or he you know, kept you going? And I wrote a couple things like that and people were coming to me like, no one's written about this. Like, this is how I felt too. Like you helped me with this story. And I was like, okay, which is so flattering and so lovely to hear. And it's like, well, I can keep doing it. And, you know, they've become my emotional characters, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it was through needing to do something with my writing and to be part of this world a little more. So
was it somebody like somebody else community wise that kind of like, did you build a community on Tumblr and then felt like you could do the thing? Or was it just all you? Kind of like, I'm going to just give this a shot.
I was pretty much by myself for a while. And then once I gained a little bit of traction, like I was meeting a lot of other writers and people. And I was like, do you guys want to do a Skype chat? And so I had this, so we had this writer's room and it maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 writers at a time. And we'd all be in there sharing ideas and we would all beta for each other and like bounce around. And it was a really great community for a while. We've all kind of fallen apart. Like I'm not going to name names of people, but a lot of people I don't talk to anymore, things we had falling outs, but it was a really great community in the beginning. And this is like 2016, 17.
Oh, wow. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's changed so much, but that was a really helpful thing is to find your people. And within that, you make your own little community and it grows and you help each other. And I think that was really important part of my start.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Was the community primarily like reader insert? Because I mean, this is like a thing that I feel like you're known for. Was it just the writing community part of it?
I don't think we really looked at it as a separation between OCs or reader insert. I always gravitated to reader insert. Everything that I write is me. You know, my YNs, my reader inserts are me. Sometimes I'm a little bitchier. Sometimes I'm a little whatever. I put myself in there. And if I take out my name and put you in there and you enjoy it, that's cool.
The engagement in certain places for certain things. Because I've talked to, we had Zeps guys, Alex on for an interview.
Yes.
And we talked a lot about, you know, like reader insert versus OC, like depending on where you post it. And she was saying like, even for some situations, she'll like rework her fiction to like, you know, maybe like try it with an like an original character and like do it that way. Do you sort of like workshop that at all? Or do you just kind of like, this is what I feel like writing and I'm going to do it, like whether it's a original character or it's reader insert, like what makes you want to write maybe differently?
I think I start out everything as a reader insert.
Okay.
And there are certain times if I'm really getting into it, and lately it's been a lot of longer stories for me and a lot more intricate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment as I'm writing where I go, this can't possibly be a reader insert. I have to give her a backstory. I have to give them hair color and eye color. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know in the back of my head, as good as this story is going to be, and I'm putting myself into this heart and soul, it's going to get a quarter of the traction that a reader insert would. But at some point I said, you know what? I really don't care how many notes I get on this, how many comments I get, because this is my story and I'm putting it out. And if you want to read it, good. If not, I still wrote it and I'm happy.
Right.
But there's definitely in the back of your head going, if I make this a reader insert, it's going to go Tumblr viral. If I don't, no one's going to read it. So it's a tough.
Do you think a lot of that too is just like how much you start investing in the story and the character? Because I mean, I've always seen it more like really like a YN or a reader insert to me feels very, very easy to just put into like a one shot or a drabble or like that kind of a thing. But then, like you said, if you start to really think about the character more outside of you're so to me, it's almost like if I start to get plotty or lengthy or, you know, feel like I really want to explore more about the character, then I'm like, maybe this should be a thing. I did this once. I just did this and I did it mid story. And I'm like, I'm not changing it. It started out as a reader insert in my brain, but now it's transferred over into an original character. And I just kind of like went with it from there and kind of like apologized along the way. Like, sorry.
Like, listen, I'm sorry.
This person has acquired a personality all of their own. My bad.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. So, I mean, does that make a difference too for you?
You have to follow your characters. And if I'm sitting down to write a little smut thing, it doesn't matter if that's a reader insert. You know, I've written full series, and I'm talking novellas, like 60,000 word stories of reader inserts. And sometimes I'll get people going, this isn't really a reader insert. She's got a this, she's got a that. Well, okay, you still read it. Did you like it? Who cares? You know, it bothers me because if I read a book, okay, I go back to my Anne Rice. When I read The Witching Hour, I am Rowan Mayfair. That's not my name. I don't look like her. I don't have magic powers, but I'm reading that as me. Why can't you take your supernatural OC and put yourself into that position? Just because I gave her a name, you know, you should still be able to enjoy the story.
What's the hang up with that? I don't
know.
Because I mean, like Kasey and I come to too, like with YN, I think the one thing Kasey and I will definitely agree on with YN is that the whole use of YN is something that kind of can take me out of a story a lot of times. So it's almost like,
but it is worth bearing in mind there that me and Sandra didn't discover Supernatural through Tumblr, and we didn't as fic writers, we like started with AO3 and moved over to Tumblr. So I am aware that the YN thing was like a Tumblr thing that you could have a thing in your browser that made it input your name. So we never experienced that.
Yeah.
So it never worked for me. I can, you know, my brain.
I don't like the last thing I want is my name in a fic because that's going to give me cringe. That's going to give me cringe. Stop that. Don't bring me into this. This isn't about me. Don't bring me into this.
I actually have a series that I was writing with a friend of mine. It's called The Chosen, and it's Michael Dean, and we went off on the rails. Anyway, she put herself in there. I put myself in there, and there's an insert.
Okay.
So there's a YN and there's a Rebecca character. It started out as me, but now I have a completely different personality and character that's got my name and my physicality and stuff. But I think that is it's Tumblr. Because if I actually wrote something for that Jensen bingo last year, that was me, Rebecca and Jensen, full story. It is getting so much love on AO3 that makes me so happy Tumblr, I think like 4 people read it. And because it's not a reader insert, it's the Tumblr culture.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
There's something about fan fiction, and there's something about the internet age that makes people really, really entitled. And I don't mean like readers and writers. Writers can feel very entitled to engagement and have a lot of expectations, and they make valid points like, well, I'm doing this for free and blah blah blah, but also like, yeah, you're doing it for free. It's something you're choosing to do. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. And then readers have these expectations like, no, you can't, it can't be an original character. It's to make it a reader insert, And it's all just, each side thinks the other side is wrong. And it's a whole thing.
You're 100% correct.
Makes people very entitled, unfortunately.
I think a lot of I went through a period of, I'm not going to write anymore because you people don't read it. And every so often I'm like, why am I bothering? Because they're not going to read it. And I mean, I've been on Tumblr almost 10 years. I've been doing this. So I've seen it come and go. In the beginning, readers were the loveliest, like, we want what you're doing, but take your time. It's okay. Whatever you want to do. And the writers in turn were like, I'm going to give you everything because I love you. Now it's like, I don't want that. Do something better. When's part 2 coming out? What are you doing? And the writers are going, well, I'm not giving you part 2 unless you give me comments and reblogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just the internet.
It's a weird transactional like way of doing it. When before, I think it was just it was organic and it just happened. And then I think it becomes this, what the expectation is. And it's like,
that's it. It becomes the status quo. And then, life happens to everybody.
Oh yeah.
And then suddenly you can't fulfill things to the same degree, or you miss a self-imposed deadline, and suddenly like people are acting like it's the end of the world. Like, babes, calm down. Like, it's a story on the internet. Like, nobody's gonna die.
I used to get so upset. Like, I didn't get to post my fic this week. I'm so sorry. You guys don't understand. And they're like, it's cool. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And I like to look at I love fan art. The artists out there, like, unbelievably talented. I don't know how to draw a stick figure. So, but I've never seen an artist go, well, I'm not giving you the next one because no one reblogged this. But you're doing just as much work as we are. You're putting yourself into this too. And it's talent and it's time. But the writers and the readers, we're at this like weird standstill of like just being nasty to each other. And
it's a different level. I've noticed that too. Like, and not that, but fan art almost seems to get a different, it's a little higher up for some reason. And and not to fault that, because everybody's the creativity is boundless and amazing, but it does seem a little, it doesn't seem equal or fair or whatever the proper term is in terms of how, like, what you're doing isn't really respected. I don't know. It's just so odd. It's an odd cycle that I feel like it keeps. And I think it's because I'm getting older too, and I just don't have the patience for the new generation of readers. I think that are coming in, and it's just like that. I don't know how to work with that really as much anymore. So
I think also, and this is something I spent a lot of time thinking about this with my friend Ree. I think she's going to be on the podcast soon.
Yeah. We're so excited too. Yeah,
she and I have been way back, so we're buddies. But we talk about this a lot, and I think something that I've noticed is there's an oversaturation of writers right now, especially on Tumblr. So whereas when we both started, no one was writing dark fic. I posted a dark fic and everyone lost their shit because of what I had written. And now you see it all the time. Warnings, dark fic, Dean does this. Everybody's in it. And I think it's wonderful that so many people are expressing themselves in writing, but that can lead to, well, I can't read all this, so I'm only going to look at this one specific thing. Whereas art, you can reblog in a second looking at this. You don't have to take time. So I just think it's like an oversaturated market on Tumblr, really.
Yeah, there's a lot. And even just in general, then, like how that transfers over to AO3. But again, with AO3 being sort of the archive part of it, like I know that we, like, even though I was on Tumblr, I really was like the lurker, you know, like, so I would just, I would go to different blogs and like read different things, but not like the engagement wasn't there. And then for AO3, it's just like, you know, you can search and find the things that, you know, you like drill down and do that kind of thing. So it, to me, it felt a little bit more like, oh, okay, well, using it that way and then posting that way. And then I think eventually I still do a little bit on Tumblr, but not as much. And like we have like the idling podcast accounts on there. But yeah, it's a very, we just had an anthropologist on that like did like a whole like thing about like, you know, fandom and ecosystems and like, you know, all these like great like conversations about how like what fuels it and what keeps it going. And it's like if you have a lot of negative, I don't think it just doesn't seem to like, it makes people, why am I doing this kind of a situation? And I think you do have to figure out why you're doing it. And are you good with whatever tends to happen outside of that? Kasey, I think you and I have kind of like, I think come to that conclusion about like, you know, we write and hope that, you know, people that really like it find it. And you were making the same comment about like your smut, Kasey, like how that can like, right, and go crazy, go through the roof.
That's it. It's like I've posted stuff that I've put my heart and soul into that does, you know, it does okay. I'm lucky I have, you know, like my stuff gets looked at and I have like a, you know, a group of people that will come and read all my stuff. I see the same names in my comments and kudos and it's great. But there's stuff out there that like I've really put my soul into and it does meh. And there's stuff that you like I've knocked out in a weekend that's just porn that fucking explodes. And like there's only so many times that can happen before you go, the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Fine.
They don't. Yeah.
You know? There's only so many times I personally can look at that and be confused and be like, okay, well, every so often I get an urge to write the smut and I'll write it. And if people stick around for the stuff that, you know, I put more work into, brilliant. But that's, I know not everybody sees it like that, but I've given up trying to work out what will do well now. I'm like, all right, cool.
You know, it goes through spits. Like sometimes I'll write something like the angstiest, most beautiful shit in the world. And I'm like, this is my favorite thing I've ever written. And I put it out there and like 2 people get it. And I'm like, all right, but you know what? I got this out of my system. It's
right.
Good.
Like I feel like that connection that you make with those 2 people is worth more than 1,000 people liking or reblogging. Yeah. Like I think that's the thing. Like it's the connection or knowing that you got somebody that if you write something, they're gonna look at it, they're gonna read it, and they're gonna find some enjoyment out of it because of how you're writing it. You know what you're dealing with, whatever you put in your notes or however you handle and treat. I think this is important, how you treat the characters. I think that's what's important too. And I think that resonates with a lot of people, that if you're good with the characters, you understand them in, even if it's your way, but it's a genuine way. I feel like that comes through in the writing a lot more. And that's not necessarily going to appeal to the masses who, quite frankly, are probably just searching for smut. You know, and
we've all got stuff we search how to doom scroll though, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like smut, it's feel good, it's enjoyable. You don't have to put too much thought into it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like we did the Wincest Big Bang earlier on, and mine was this really like fucking in-depth like examination of gender and gender identities, and it wasn't. There were bits of it that were heavy, but it wasn't written to be heavy. And there was plenty of sex in it, but I knew it wasn't going to do great because it was like gender fluid Dean and, you know, like mental breakdowns and like, it wasn't all feel good, but I knew it wasn't going to do great. And it's still, you know, like it's chugging along, it's doing fine. But there are comments in there that from people saying like, I feel seen. You've given me a name for, I didn't know that this was, that's way more important to me.
That's beautiful. That's I love that.
Like I don't want to be pretentious, but like that is way more important to me. Like I love when people love my smut. I do. Like my most popular fic of all time on AO3 is something I knocked out in a weekend. And it's fucking exploded. And I'm like, holy shit, guys. Yeah. Good Lord. You know, and I love that.
Yeah.
But I love the comments that people come to me, you know, like especially with that fic, they're like, I didn't like, this is how I feel. I didn't know there was a name for it. you've been so gentle with these characters, so gracious. Like, that's fucking, you know, come with me. You know, like come for the
that
pod
so much.
and stay for the stuff that means something to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta figure out what you're doing it for. If you're writing for an audience, that's totally fine. But you have to keep writing for the audience. Because they're not gonna, you know, like some of them will go with you, but the vast majority won't go with you if you move to a different like subject.
Oh yeah.
So you have to stay where your audience is. If you're writing for you, then you have to accept that there will be less engagement with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's difficult. It's a balancing act for sure. Because sometimes you want to just post something and have everyone go, "Oh my god, you're just the bestest though," and you'd be like, "I am the bestest though." Thanks, guys. I am the fucking bestest. So yes.
I agree 100%. I love that you're getting comments like that. That makes me like so happy. It's stuff like that. Like you want to reblog my sput and be like, "This is so hot. Oh my god, so sexy." I'm so glad if you're getting off on my smut fic. I'm so happy. Mm-hmm. But when you get that comment or somebody messages you and says, this character that you wrote has gotten me through this, this, and this, or I come back and read this every time I'm sad and it helps me. That is incredible. Yeah. And that's what you know, that's what I do it for. If I could get one comment, I'm happy if it's, you know, that kind of engagement with somebody. That's why you read. That's why you create. Yeah, you're putting yourself out there, but you're hoping that someone picks it up and goes, I get that. And I get you, you know?
Yeah.
That's art, man. That's
the thing. And you gotta, like, at some point in your career, you have to decide, are you going for mass appeal or are you doing more niche things? And there's nothing wrong with mass appeal. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But some people do write as like a form of therapy or working through stuff. And not everyone's going to go with you with that. And you gotta be prepared for that as well. But it's,
a lot of my stuff is therapy like that. And I work shit out through that. I went through a breakup recently. I'm like, let's pour that into some stuff and see what comes out. And that's important. I've been doing this so long. I did have a lot of ups and downs. And I threw a lot of fits back in the day about no one's reading, no one gives a shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm writing for you guys and you don't care. And at some point you do have to go, if I'm going to continue doing this, I'm going to write what I want to write. And I'm going to do it for me and fuck the engagement. Like, I don't care. I posted something on Thursday. It's gotten like 3 notes, but my friend who I wrote it for adores it. So I'm glad, you know?
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
That's what's important.
Yeah. I've written some like general stuff for Sandra for a couple of things. And, you know, they do. I mean, general doesn't do great on AO3 at all. But they do okay. But the comments that people come in and they're like, I really needed this. This is this is exactly what I needed. This is so comfortable. And I'm like, that's what it's about, guys. That's what it's there for.
That's why you read something. That's why, because you want to be in that world for a minute and you want to feel what the author is trying to make you feel. Like that's why we're doing all this. That's why we read and write and draw and sing and, you know, it's all art in the end. That's
do all the rest of the stuff. But also, if you could leave comments, we'd really like that. We're all out here being all noble. Like, no, we don't.
I got a comment the other day,
but also
the other day on AO3 like that, and she was like, I've been reading your stuff forever, and I've never commented, but you've been writing this and this and this, and I keep going with you to fandoms. I'm like, cool. Say something. I want to know you're with me. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. Let me know you're still here.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. What other fandoms are you writing for? Because I know there's a long list. So I've like, the question about the 1,000. So yes, what else do you write for?
So I have to really connect to the characters because I'm not just going to write like, this is this person and whatever. Yeah. I need to know them. So I have to really enjoy it. So I write The Magicians a lot. I love that show.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff is also on my Patreon. Like I don't move a lot of stuff over because people don't care and I hate formatting. So they're just like there, or I send them to my friends. So I've done a lot of that. I'm very into Sebastian Stan right now is like my new lover. So trying to really get into the Marvel. I love Steve Rogers. So I've been working on him and Bucky and Walking Dead is another thing I love. So I read a lot of
who are you?
Negan and anything really. I honestly, like, if I go through, I actually last summer made an Excel spreadsheet. And I said, I have written so much, I don't know where it all is. So everything I could find, I put on the spreadsheet, you know, date published, fandom.
Wow.
And I think at the moment, I haven't updated in a while, it's like some 1,200 fics on the spreadsheet.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Where do you find the time?
Yeah, that's the question too. When are you writing? Like, when are you finding time to write?
I used to, I was an office manager for a while for a very small company. So I would sit there, and if I wasn't answering the phones and doing the accounting, I was writing fics.
Okay.
I'm writing everything. Now I work from home, and every Wednesday I sit down and go, today's my writing day, and I'm going to see what comes out, you know, so I do it whenever I can. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to branch out in fandoms. I think I write the most for Jensen, actually. At the moment. Like,
so is it like a Jensen thing? Like if it's like the boys or like Big Sky? Like do you kind of?
Oh, the boys. Yes, I forgot about the boys.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Love him.
Okay.
I never watched Big Sky, so I don't really.
Okay.
I'm not getting into that, but I do watch Tracker, and it's terrible, but it's good at the same time. So we love and hate Tracker. It's so bad, but so good.
Sandra kept saying to me, she was like, "You need to watch this. You need to watch this." And I was like, if he comes back from like more than one episode, and I know he's been in two now, but like I'm like, if he becomes like a proper guest, I'll watch it then. Yeah. But I'm not. But I skip Blue Sky completely. I want to watch the fire thing that Jared is doing, but I know that he's only in it because they want to spin off a sheriff thing with him in it. And we get 4 fucking seasons of him being a freaking sheriff. I don't want to see that anymore. And also, there's like 2 whole seasons before this. And I have to watch them because I can't start season 3 because I'm not going to know what's happening. And I'm not going to know who anybody is.
Yes.
And I know that he throws a flip-flop at somebody, but that's not enough. I need more context. I need more context.
Too much to catch up to. That's why I didn't do Blue Sky, because I was like, I'm not watching 2 full seasons of something I don't care about just to see Jensen, you know.
Oh, I gave up after I was like, I did want to learn about the character. So I did the first season and then the second season started. I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'm just going to wait until he shows up and then we're just going to go from there. And that was worth it for me because at least seeing him on screen, I was like, and he's just so pretty that it's just like, you know, you just like, okay.
He looks lovely. He looks lovely in Blue Sky. He fully does.
I could definitely overlook.
Is it Big Sky? I don't think it's Blue Sky.
I think it's Big Sky.
Big Sky.
Big Blue, Jensen, whatever. It's just a Jensen show at this point. He's so fluffy in that. Like, he just looks like his hair is fluffy. He's always wearing that like fur thing.
Yeah, like, he's always like, he always looks very cuddly. He's always cuddly. He's always got a nice jacket on. He's always like everything he wears very well in that show. So it's just it's nice.
You know he was in wardrobe for that show going, oh my God, no flannel. There's no flannel.
Please, no flannel.
I'm trying to remember if maybe like once or twice he did, but no, it was a lot of like sweatshirts and coats and jackets, and yeah, he was definitely like not the salary, you know, like the jackets he was wearing. I don't think a sheriff would actually be able to afford. Like, you know, when you
maybe they were Jensen's jackets.
But he wore them to. I think he wore them to a couple of cons. Like he would there's a certain jacket that he wore.
Didn't he keep that denim fluffy number?
That was the one I think that he wore or something. He wore something to a con, and it was just like everybody was talking about that jacket. So
motherfucker, he knows what he's doing.
He likes his fashion. Leave him alone. He's having a nice time.
Love him.
Yes, he does.
Your Honor, I love him. He's just the bestest.
So much.
Oh my gosh. Any are there certain fanfic tropes that you like to write more than others? Like, do you like enemies to lovers, friends to lovers? Like, is there something that just kind of like, ooh, like, you know, you can like do it justice when you're writing it?
Anything that's based in angst, it really gets me. I think that's my favorite. But as far as a trope, if you have a lover dying in your arms and you confess your love, I've always loved you.
Aww.
I was just afraid to tell you. Yes, give me that. I don't care who's dying. Just kiss them as they last breath. That gets me.
But then don't you have to resurrect them? Like, because it's supernatural? Okay.
Let them die. then the other person.
Oh no, Sandra has feelings about
that. No, I think I have 3 whips right now where someone major dies, and I'm like, I am bringing them back. This is great.
Oh no, that upsets me.
Kill everyone.
Can we make that the title, Sandra?
I don't think I can, but that would be great.
Kill everyone.
I don't think that'll work well, but I would love to. I would love to. That's a good motto.
Yeah.
That really made me think of that scene in Les Mis where the girl who's got the crush on Marius dies in the rain.
That's my ultimate. That is my ultimate.
That's what I was thinking. She confesses, and she's like, "It's okay, don't worry about it." And then he just fucks off and don't even think about her. Just he's fine. He's like, "Oh no, my blonde beauty is still alive. This is fine."
Aww.
Oh, you just lay here in the rain. I'm going to the rich chick. Yeah, that is my life. That scene. Yep.
But in your case, you'd have the person that has to live without the person never be able to get over the situation.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I
want you thinking about me for the rest of your life, crying. Yeah. I want you to wake up every morning and reach for your pillow beside you and realize I'm not there, and then be sad all day. That's what I want.
Oh,
yeah. Or, friends to lovers. That's all right too.
That's right too. Not as good as the other one. Not as good as kill everyone. Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Kill everyone.
I gotcha. Yeah. So what about like pairings and ships and stuff? Like, are you pretty much like a multi-shipper, like all shipper? Like, because I've noticed that you got a little bit of everything like in your library, like on AO3. Yeah. And is that usually like, is that just from you, or does that become a part of like community, like requests or different things like that? Like, I know I threw a bunch of questions together. Sorry.
No, it's a really good thing to think about, because some people are like all ships, and them as like they do ships, and I do a little bit of everything. I'm pro ship. Like, if you want to, whatever floats your boat, man. You love that, ship and let's ship. That's my motto. There are a few that I don't get. When I see someone, Sam and Lucifer, I'm like, why? I don't understand it, but if that makes you happy, that's cool.
Because he looks so pretty when he's in pain.
I know, but Lucifer's so mean to him.
Oh, whoa. 2 minutes ago, we were dying in the rain and having days ruined because of dead lovers. And you're
it's different. It's different. It's different. I don't know why it's different, but it's different.
It's different. It's because nobody dies. That's what it is. Because everyone just has to live and be sad. That's what it is.
See, you get it. Yeah, they all have to die.
I think that's the hard thing too, because like maintaining, like for me anyway, like certain ships, like I could see the get together of a certain ship, but then maintaining that is, I think, where I'm kind of like more about the like, is it just about the like getting them together part of it? But then like, what does that look like, after or long term or something like that?
It's interesting. So. Yeah. I think like I personally, I'm a Destiel 100%. Like from day one, I was like, oh, that angel's in love with him. Like that's my thing. I also ship cockles. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's what I think about.
Okay.
That lives rent free. But so I do write Destiel. People don't read it, but I don't care, because if I'm going to put them together and it's so dramatic, it's beautiful.
They're your dolls. Like you can do what you like. Yeah.
They're my Barbie dolls. I do whatever.
But I noticed you had like you have some Wincest, a couple Wincests in AO3 too. Yes. So I saw a little bit of everything. Yeah. So I was just like, this seems like somebody who's like,
I like it. If it's something that sparks an idea, I'm going to go with it. I'm not like a long-term Wincesty, but there are times when I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. I'm in, and I'll write it. If it's worth a story, why not? I remember when I wrote my first Wincest, I think it's called like Comfort or something. It's a very short thing. And I was so terrified to post it, because what are people going to think? What am I, this is not what I usually do. And I put it up and I turned off Tumblr. Like I couldn't even look. And then I came back and they were like, we don't care what you write. It's cool. So I do get requests for certain ships. My friend is always asking me to do like a magician's ship and whatnot. So I'll write it. A lot of people don't ask for it. If they did, I would write it more.
Okay.
I don't know. I like them all. Whatever. If it makes you happy and is a good story, I'll do it.
That's good. That's good to have that attitude. I mean, well, definitely, there's definitely not that situation a lot of times in in the fandom either. So it's good to have that ability to just be like, yeah, ship and let ship. Because I don't think people always understand what that means, really. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great to have somebody that's like, yeah.
It's very not to get too political on Maine, but it's very the fandom at large can be very not in my backyard. So they'll say ship and let ship, but if they actually encounter the ships they don't like, they're like, no. No.
I follow a lot of drama blogs because I love, it's like watching reality TV. It's fun. So I check in with,
girl.
A couple of them and I'm like, hey, what did we do this week? So I don't have Twitter. I don't go on other things or X or whatever the hell it is. So I get all my drama from Tumblr and I'm like, let's go see what the Jarpad fans did this week and what happened over here. So I do see a lot of that. Destiel hates Wincest. Wincest hates Destiel. This one, that one. Guys, I don't care. If you want to see Sam and Dean kiss, that's fine. If you want to see, Cass and Dean, that's fine. You want to see them all three together? Fine. That's cool. They're fucking characters. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to do. That's cool. Yeah.
Fictional characters, people. Fictional.
Well, I know, but then we do the whole emotional part of it too. I think that's where it gets a little, it gets, we get invested, right? Like, I think that's the thing too. Oh, yeah. Like the investment in the characters is strong. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think especially this show has a lot of like, you cling on to them and then that's your character. Yeah. Dean, you don't want to see Dean doing something that is so against you personally because that's your boy and why would you do that? But at the end they are Barbie dolls and we can dance them around however we want.
Yeah, so, absolutely. So I had this question here, but I'm like, I do understand you've written like over 1,000, but are there some fics that you've written that stand out to you that are like your special babies that you're really proud of?
I had a lot of thought on this question. So honestly, like and people are like, well, what's your favorite thing that I've written? It's whatever I'm writing in the moment, really. But looking back over the time, one of my first series, Escape, is a horror series. It's one of my favorites. Like I can, chapter 6, even, I remember writing it. I remember every detail of it. For some reason that has always stuck with me. So that there's a couple one shots. Like if somebody reblogs something old, I'll go read it and be like, oh my God, I've missed this. I remember this. But
what's the premise for Escape?
It's basically like Saw. So,
okay.
Dean, she's dating Sam, which you might like, Kasey. And she's with Sam, but she and Dean get kidnapped and they're put through a maze of different rooms that are trying to kill them. They got to get out. And Sam is off trying to find them. So it was just horror room after horror room and things. They're getting gassed. They're drowning. They're being bled. They're on fire. Like it's super, it's very violent. But I had so much fun writing it and researching it and doing all the work. And I have one person who reblogs it every Halloween and she writes, this is my annual reread of this. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's like 10 years old, but I still remember that.
Can I get a link to that, please?
Yeah, I'll shoot it over. I love that one. Yeah. So it's good. There's another horror one too that I love. Yeah.
I now have the absolute desire to put Sam and Dean in a Saw-like thing where they have to do awful things to each other. Not deadly, but maiming and awful. Because can you imagine the angst?
Yeah. That's kind of what I did in this. And I had to take one of the brothers out because I was like, they can't both do this and she needs to have something to do. So there's a lot of, she has to do things to Dean to get them out and he has to, bleed her and cut her up to get things out. And it's, I was like, I'm going to the loony bin for this one. It sticks with me. I love that one so much. So that's my baby.
Yeah,
so speaking awesome. Like the research aspect of it, like how much stuff really, like how down the rabbit hole can you get with research?
Well, put it like this. In what fic was it? I think
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah, like how long can we go? What was it? I think it was a story called Condition. It's another horror series. I was having the reader attacked in an alley with chloroform. So I'm like, well, how does that feel? So I'm starting Googling chloroform, and I got to the point where I was looking at the chemical composition of chloroform and like memorizing all this scientific stuff. P.S. Did not use it in the story. I spent a full afternoon like, let's see the history of this and let's see what we do over here. So
what does Google say that it feels like?
I don't super remember, but it's pretty instant. And chloroform, like when you see it in the movies, that don't work like that. You put it on a rag and then wait for somebody. No, it is evaporated by then. It's like you have to instantly use it. So that was fun.
And it takes much longer to kick in than it shows in the movies as well. I know that. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'm with you there for my Wincest Big Bang. At one point, I had about 18 different tabs open, and one of them was legitimately what kind of trees are native to New York?
Oh, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of trees are native? At one point, I had fucking overlapping maps of where the best time to see fall leaves are.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
I've genuinely
done stupid things. Yeah.
Two maps. Because it needed to happen in fall, and there needed to be leaves, and I needed to jig the calendar to make sure they were to make sure that the leaves would be peak in New York State when I
absolutely. Yep.
And there was a tree involved, so I needed to make sure it was a native tree, and I needed other
the right tree.
accoutrement trees
supposed to be there. Yeah,
yeah. And I needed other accoutrement trees because you can't just have one type of tree. That's so boring.
No, yeah, we're deciduous over here. We have all the trees. I love it.
Yeah.
If you go into my Google Maps and they're like recent places or regular place you look, Lebanon, Kansas is always in my Google Maps. Just because I need to know exactly how long the drive was from this place to that place. And
that's a big thing for people, like when you're doing fan fiction for supernaturals. Like you
have to know.
Yeah.
And
you have to.
Yeah.
Especially as someone who's not native, what I think is a long drive. You guys will drive for like Burger King. So I need context here. You know, it's like you can drive for an hour in England, not even in the UK, in England, and you're in a place with a different accent, and they call bread something different, and they hate you for some fucking reason, and it's a totally different culture. You can drive for an hour and not even be out of the state, not even out of the county sometimes. So
I have to drive 40 minutes to get to my supermarket some days.
Oh,
what?
Well, I'm in the mountains of New Jersey. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere. But so if you look at it like that, like it's a lot bigger than people think. But that's a big thing. Is like, how far away is Sioux Falls from this? How far away is this?
Yep. I've Googled.
We don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've Googled Lebanon to Sioux Falls a fair number of times. You know, and then also as well, you have to factor in, this is normal people driving distance. How long would it take Dean to do it? Because you got to shave off a couple of hours as well.
Oh yeah, that foot's on the floor. He is pushing baby very fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm with you there. My Google Maps are the same. Or I'm Googling random places, or I'm trying to find, you know, just a random little nothing town in Nebraska or something because I need it.
I just did that. I was like, I need a place. So I Googled Wyoming and I was like, what's the smallest population that would make sense to have this particular problem? And then I'm like, okay. So fun. Yeah. That's what part of the fun of it is, to find out those little details and put those in.
Yeah.
No one's going to notice that I put that in, but I know it's there and it's fun.
You know.
Well, and it's nice sometimes when somebody actually like recognizes it. Like I did something where I had it in Lebanon, Kansas, and I remember somebody asking me like, the like what I was writing is like they're from there and they like felt like I had like been there. I was like, oh, that means a lot to me. I'm like, no, I just Google mapped and did Street View and just like went let's see what we could do that way. And so to feel like that, you know, that worked and did a thing, that that does mean a lot. I was just talking to Kasey about
yeah.
this. Like, you know, I'm really big on like if I can find any fics that like even mention Delaware, I'm just like all about it because I'm like I'm from Delaware and I'm like, you know, like if I could read it and I'm like, you know, okay, like did they really do any research about it or like what's happening here? So
Sandra
like,
knows as well. She'll know.
I just feel like it's just funny, like, you know, when they pick that, you know, and I'm just like, I'm always curious, like, are you from Delaware? What's the deal? Like, I want the backstory of the author kind of a situation. I won't get it, but it always
I've
makes
had
me
people
feel
like,
that.
why did you put that in that town? I'm like, I don't know. I picked it out of a hat. They're like, well, I'm from there. How did you know we had a McDonald's on that corner? I'm like, everybody got a McDonald's on the corner.
That's universal. Everybody has one. Yeah, no, I was Googling where to send Sam and Dean on a road trip in something. And there's an Evel Knievel museum in the same town as like the Kansas history, capital with an O. Like, I don't know. The state seat or something's over there. It's history and shit. All books. So I got to send them there and I got to be like, and Dean went to the Evel Knievel Museum and Sam went to the history place. And the Evel Knievel Museum is inside a Harley Davidson shop and there's a barbecue place in there. And in the history capital place, the cafe is called Lettuce Feed You. And I got to write Dean being like, I am not eating at the Rabbit Food Emporium. What the fuck?
I love it. That's perfect. See, and you didn't seek that out. That fell into your lap and you use it because it's brilliant. That was perfect.
Yep. It's just
love that.
You gotta like I'll fudge details all day long, but sometimes you gotta have it, man.
Yeah,
it just happens. That's part of the fun of this, you know? I love
absolutely. That. So speaking of, like, who are some of your favorite like SPN fanfic authors that like you like to read and you're like, oh my God, you did a thing and I'm so excited and I have to tell you how awesome it was?
This is like such a hard question. It really is.
I'm sure
there's tons. There's a ton of them. Yeah.
There's so many. And I'm like, every time I'm asked this, I'm like, I'm going to leave somebody out. So I mentioned Ree before, Kitten and Doomage. She just gets me, like what I want to read. Like she gets it. And like sometimes she'll write for me and I'm like, you're my favorite person ever right now. So she can't go wrong. My bestie is Because I'm a Lady Ass Face. It's funny. She writes.
Okay, that's brilliant.
It's a reference from Will and Grace, but she never changed it.
No, you wouldn't. That's a great name.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And she is like, that's like her personality. Anyway, she's great. She hasn't written in a while, but she's a lot of like Dean comfort, which I love. She writes Dean in such a great way. Dean Winchester's Witch. Kim is a great buddy of mine.
Yeah. We've had Kim on a couple times and I was so excited about the Jacklesverse bingo and stuff too. So
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I've been writing exclusively for Kim for like a year since the last one. I'm like, everything is for her right now. Yeah, I think so. I'm like, how am I going to make her cry today? Let's write this down. Yeah. Another one, I don't think she writes much anymore, but I Dream of Hazel is an amazing Sam writer.
Okay. And are they primarily Tumblr? Is that?
Yeah, they're Tumblr people. Yeah. I don't get to read a lot of fanfic anymore. And when I do, I'm very selective. Yeah, I'm so busy writing it. Occasionally someone will throw me something and I'm like, this is great. And then I'll try to find more and then I forget about it. So if people would tag me, I would read it, but they don't tag me anymore. So.
Well, I mean, sometimes you might be intimidated.
I don't know why. I've gotten that from the very beginning. Like, I'm so afraid to talk to you. Why, man? I like talking about supernatural. Like, just ask me. Like,
I was like 3 years in, just going like following and like seeing like posts and stuff, and I'm just like, and then Candace is like, "Oh, she's great. Just message her. Don't be worried about." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, when she messaged me about this, I was like, "They want me on a podcast?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "But why? That's so cool. Oh my god. So like, I don't do anything else. I like talking about this stuff. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, I just think you're just a presence on Tumblr to me. And then like, having followed you, like for so long, it's just like, there's certain people, like, again, like Kitten and Doomage is another one that like, we were like, we were so like, I think Kasey said, if we can get Kitten of Doomage, we've made it, and we were just like, and I was like, well, why don't I just ask? And then, I I didn't hear back. And then I think Jackie, who's another person, Jinkies, would you look at this? But I'm just like, I feel like Jackie is like our Kevin Bacon. Like,
Jackie knows everybody.
Knows everybody.
She's great. She does, yeah.
Oh, like, I've, I know. I'm like, she's like, I'll put in a word, good word for you and stuff. And then asked a couple times. And again, like, we get it. There's this fear of doing this because it's a different medium, right? Like, it's not writing and all these other things, but she said, I'm going to give it a try. And I'm like, yes. So we're like, we're looking forward to, and again, like, these are all people that we've just
made it.
We've known, forever. So to get a chance to talk to you about just like writing and your process and what you do is just, it's been great. Yeah, I know process.
You've been so good. You've been so good.
I've been trying. I know. I'm sorry.
Good be with your process.
Oh, the process. Yes.
I know.
Oh, that's so sweet. I honestly, I'm like, I'm blushing over here.
No, absolutely. I know we talked a little bit about Tumblr and like that whole aspect of it, but like, I know you have a Patreon. What's the reader support? Like, what does that provide you? Because I'm assuming it's a little bit more intimate and you have a little bit more of a connection with the people in that situation. And like,
don't worry, we can cut this out as well.
Yeah. What happens?
Oh no, it's fine.
What happens there that kind of like maybe doesn't happen on other platforms, like behind the curtain thing? Like, so because you said a lot of your stuff doesn't go beyond that. So what's that like?
I honestly, like, when I started to do it because it became like this like new trendy thing to do. And I was like, no one's gonna pay me for this. And I don't have a large group, but they're very loyal, wonderful people who are on my Patreon. And I have a Discord with that's just private for them. And they can get, requests anytime and like discounts on the books and stuff. And I talk about, hey guys, taking some time off to write a new book, doing this, doing that. Behind the scenes, just me rambling, really.
Yeah.
But I really like it because it's like this separate thing. I know if I put something on there, they're going to read it. They may not comment on it, but they're seeing it, they're loving it, and they stick with me. And just that little extra support to go, we may not be in your face talking about it, but we're here. We got your back.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing, like, just little community over there. It's nice.
I love that.
That's lovely. Yeah. So then talking about your original
so do you use
fiction.
It just for do you use that just for original fiction or do you do fanfic stuff there as well?
It's both. Right now it's mostly fanfic because I did not write a new book this year. Like, I just couldn't get myself together to do it. So
it do be that way sometimes.
It do, right? It's just like I couldn't do it this year. But there's a lot of like little I love the short story. So there's other stuff on there that's not fanfic. There's just short stories or little clips or poetry and stuff like that. Whatever I feel like jotting down, they get to see, good or bad.
So what about your like your original fiction? Because I really wanted to kind of dig in a little bit more. Because when I was looking on I was checking you out on Amazon. So there was like romance, there was erotica, there was poetry.
You gotta buy somebody dinner before you do that.
I know, but I just like to go in there. So I know
I'm a cheap date. That's okay.
You kind of answered the question first, where like you were writing before fanfic, but what's different about original fiction? Like, what inspires you to, like you said, you didn't do one this year. Is there? Because I find that I kind of use maybe fanfic to inspire me or something else to inspire me when I want to get ready to write something original. How does that work for you? Does the original idea come first? Is there nothing involved with, does fanfic not intersect at all? How does that work for you?
That's interesting. Yeah. Sometimes it does intersect. I had been jotting down notes for a supernatural series. And I got a couple pages into my notes and I'm going, I think this should be an actual book. It's like, maybe there's more to this than, I can explore within that universe. Maybe I want my own universe for this, stuff like that. The very first book that I published, I'm Yours, was a fanfic. It was 2 fanfics.
Okay.
So it's not on Tumblr anymore, but there were 2 separate series, a sequel and the original. And as I'm posting it, it's a BDSM, but better than 50 Shades because it's like research. I had people coming to me like, oh, you get this, like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, well, I could just turn this into the book. This could be it. Cause I was nervous to write an original thing and put it out there at the time. So it kind of went from that, but now it could be a fic idea that I think would be better served bigger. A lot of times it's not, it's just out of nowhere. It's like, oh yeah, we should write that. That's good.
And when was I'm Yours? When was that like fiction? And then when did that become original?
God, it was early. That was one of my first series, probably 2016 or 17.
Okay. And did you just jump in and just say, I'm just going to figure out how to do this thing, how to publish this piece of
I did that all myself.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I actually really like to go back and rewrite that book, but I don't have time. So it's really bad. It's not great. But yeah, I did everything through Amazon, and I've gotten better over the years. Like, now I know how to format it. I know it's going to take this long. I know the cover has to look like this and this has to look like that, but it's a learning process. It's very interesting. So
yeah. No, I've done the original fiction route too. So yeah, I'm right there with you with like Amazon, but I do more. And do you just do Amazon, or are you on any other like platforms to for your book?
My last book was published with a publisher, and
yay! Congratulations.
Well, it's a hybrid publisher. Thank you. So it's in Barnes and Nobles as well, which I hadn't even looked at. So that was cool. But I just kind of stick to Amazon. It's a platform I know. Everyone's on Amazon. And I had looked in the self-publishing fully, go get your book printed out by yourself and stuff. I don't know how to market myself. I don't know how to market anything. So it's easier to just put it on Amazon. Here's the link, for me.
Okay.
So yeah.
I
don't know what I'm doing.
Marketing is not my forte either. And I just feel like, it's where, it's difficult because it's really another job, so in addition to the writing and everything else, because I was going to ask you too, what do you do? Do you market it? But
I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Honestly, I don't know.
But do you get a lot of interaction with so you said, a lot of your, readers on Patreon. So they you give them, you said they get discounts if they want to get one of your books or different things like that. Awesome.
Yeah. I'll get them discounts, and I'll send them a signed copy and make them feel ooh, you want my signature? Here we go.
Nice.
That's just for me, really.
No, but that's
I'll
nice.
also post
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll give them sneak peeks. If I have just written a chapter I really like, I'm like, hey, you guys want to read this? Here you go.
Okay.
So they are,
Now, do they also kind of serve as do you have a beta that kind of helps you almost like an editor? Do they serve as your beta for your original stuff, or how does that work?
The original stuff I kind of hide. I don't know why. I used to have a whole list of people that would come read the fanfic and put it out before. I actually once or twice had people in the Google Doc with me watching me write. And that was weird and fun. I just like doing that stuff. It was okay, you can see that I obviously can't spell. That's great.
No, I bet you can spell. I bet it's just when people watch you, because I'm like that. I can spell, but as soon as I think someone's watching me, I just forget what my letters are.
What are words?
Help.
So now I have to I'm begging people. I'm can someone please read this for me and let me know if it sucks? I don't know. But I get weird about that. But the original stuff, no, I keep that to myself. And then once I feel like it's done or mostly done, I'll send it to a friend.
Okay.
Is this worth, what do you think about this?
So you don't get a lot of input during the writing process for the original stuff.
Not as much. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
For the fic, I'll be do you think Dean would go to blah, blah, blah? But this, I'm just they're going to do what I'm going to do because the story's in my head. So
did you find Jacklesverse? Because again, this is my lurker tendency and I should get out of that more. But do you find that the Jacklesverse, talking about fic, or there's a sort of just they're feeding each other in terms of oh yes, do the thing. That's a great idea. Do you get a lot more of that in those kinds of spaces?
I love it. Yeah. Having a group of other writers, even I don't really know anybody in there. I know 2 or 3 people. Just talking to different people and hearing what they have to say, and they're working on this, they're working on that. And I don't even talk all that often. Like I yap everywhere, but just reading sometimes and seeing what the people are working on. It's such a nice thing to have a community of people that understand that you're going to spend 6 hours researching chloroform and never use it, but they get it, it's nice to have that community. I love it. I'm loving that bingo. I'm loving the Discord.
It was really, I really did feel that was like when I was in it for the first round, I felt that was one of the more creative times for me, like with smaller pieces of fiction. Like I didn't really, so getting those prompts, I think did kind of like, it did something. It gave me like opportunities to try something different and stuff. And so I definitely appreciated it. I don't know if I couldn't give it a go again for the second round, but are you in the second round as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I did a full bingo last time. God, it was a lot. I wrote a lot for it.
Were you insane like me and did a 5x5, or did you do something a little bit more reasonable? What did you do?
If I'm going to do it, I'll
did you do a 5x5?
I did a 5x5.
Wow.
I did the full, one of them is a full series I did off one square.
Okay.
Wow.
I think I topped out at like almost 100,000 words for that bingo. I just kept going. I was like, let's just do it.
Wow.
This year I've written, I think 3 so far.
Okay.
They're up on Patreon, and I'm struggling because I'm like, I feel like I did really well last bingo, and now I'm like, it's not going to be as good.
I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be
so, but it's so much fun. And to get, those prompts, stuff that you wouldn't think of.
Yeah, exactly. I think getting that from somebody else and just like, having that, just here's a thing, try to figure out how to make it work I'd never done one I'd never done a bingo anyway. So that was a great experience. So I'm glad.
That's
and Kim is awesome and just so wonderful with everybody that she has in there. So Kasey did a couple too.
I did do a couple bingo. Yeah. I would like to give another go when I don't also have a bang at the same time. I thought I could do both, and then it very quickly turned out I could not do both. And the bingo was the one that slipped through the cracks. But I had a blast. Kim is a delight. Her prompts are amazing. I had the best time. I would love to go back and do it again. If she starts a Sam one as well, hint. I know you're listening, Kim. I know you're listening. Sam.
She's gonna do a Sam one. That's she's a dean all the way through. But I've never done a bang. That's fun. I've looked at the bangs coming through. Like someone just posted another, I think a Sam bang. I was like,
I signed up for that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm scared.
Sam and Jared. Actually, that's if you've never done one before, that's a pretty forgiving one to start with because the minimum word count is 2,500. Normally, it's 5,000. So
really.
Yeah, it's a lower minimum word count.
Well, damn, I could do that in my sleep. I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
So
you've only got today left to sign up. It closes on the 22nd.
Now wait, because
maybe not.
This is a question. This is an issue that I've had because I was very hesitant about signing up for stuff before bangs because a lot of them weren't that you couldn't do reader insert, right? So so Beka, you've never done a bang, or you have done a bang in the past? Have you never done?
I've never done.
So this is a question I have because I've talked to Kasey about this, and I don't know if we're going to do this anytime soon, but I feel like this is a thing that I want to like pursue or at least ask some artists and stuff about because as a person that likes to write reader insert or original character, like with say Dean or whatever, like, do you think an artist would be interested in doing that? Because I feel like that's something that I think a reader insert writer or somebody who writes original characters, I would love to have somebody, do some art for a story like that. But I've never seen that anywhere. I don't know if you have like way back, if there was ever any like bangs that like did incorporate, like you could do a reader insert or you could do an original character with.
I don't know how that would work though.
Well, my thing is that I understand that some people would be like, no, I don't know how I would draw this person. But I'm also like, I'm also curious as to like, well, couldn't you find a moment where the focus could be on a character that you enjoy writing or enjoy drawing and like focus on that instead? So I was always, I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know.
That'd be a great challenge, I think. I think that would be worth exploring. I think that's a great idea. Some of my, I always see the bangs and I'm like, I wish someone would draw art for one of my
that's the thing.
stories.
Like,
that's
it
so
was
fun.
Yeah, having somebody draw something for like, another segment, of the writing community, I think would be.
Yeah.
I think we've got a couple artists that we know. I might ask them just as like out of curiosity, like, would this ever be a thing? Or like, could you ask your artist friends, would they ever be interested in doing something like this? Because I don't know, maybe not 2025, but maybe 2026 if we're still doing a thing. Kasey and I might have to like decide, hey, you know what? Let's try a reader insert Big Bang. Let's see if we can put that together.
Yeah. I do think it'd be possible. You'd have to writers would have to have a vague idea, even if they're basing their reader off themselves. It could not be truly, you'd have to give your artist something, I think.
All right.
The only thing I'll say that kind of works is like I put art on my stories when I publish them. So I'm making the art banner or whatever. And because it's reader insert, I don't even have a lookalike. There's no, it's just Dean or it's just Sam. So it could be something like that.
Yeah.
Or just like an interpretation, I think that's a great idea. You should definitely like ask around at least. Why not?
I think I'm going to. That was in my brain because I know like when the first one I ever did was a Dean Winchester Big Bang. And I made it very general and I kind of just like based it off of another story that I did. So there was the hint of a romance, but it was basically just like sort of Dean's like little story in this. And it was only like 5K. So I was able to kind of make it general and still kind of like fit in the, in there. But again, like that's a story that I really think is cute and great and fun, but it got like 200 views. Like, and it's just like, but there was like this, there was wins, like all this other stuff going on. And I'm like, here's my it's a puppy Dean. I turned him into a puppy. Aww. It was like a magical thing. And it was just like, it felt like a good part, but it's like, I could see why that wouldn't necessarily like, with all the other stuff out there in that situation, it didn't get the same response. But if it's all about reader interest or it's all about original character, like I think that might, I don't know. I mean, because I
think there's a spot for it. And I think
if you can commission people, you can commission people to draw an original character. I've had to do that. I don't see why somebody wouldn't necessarily be able to get like, hey, here's the thing. Looks like this person. This is a guide. This is what you could go off of, like that kind of a situation. We'll see.
I've had it done. I've had people draw art of me again from the Chosen series when it's like Rebecca character. I've had people create playlists for my fics and stuff like that. It's whatever medium you can get to add to that is great. And again, fan art blows my mind. When someone draws Dean, I'm like, how are you? It's magic. Like I can't do that. I think that's great. You should definitely put feelers out. Why not? Were they going to say no? Yeah. You'll probably get people that want to do it. It's a challenge. It's fun.
Yeah. We'll see. I just wanted to get it from your perspective. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah.
When you write, are you more of a plotter or pantser? You a little bit of both?
The age-old question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just banging at the keyboard some days. For fics, all right, how do I put this? One shots, I have, Dean it's like Clue. Dean in the Impala with a cheeseburger. And you just see what comes out. Like, I don't have a plan for that.
Do you have like a random generator that you just like, like, here, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what we got kind of thing.
I don't know if this is still on my blog. Way back at the beginning, I did a Mad Libs with my followers. So I asked them, they didn't know what it was. And I said, give me this, 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 and this. And then I wrote a story, just one. And then I plugged all their stuff in as a Mad Libs. And it was really funny. I don't know if that's still up there. I'll have to look. But yeah, it's kind of like that. I'll just come up with an idea. Like I have a million docs that are just some of them. Okay. The other day I wrote down Sebastian Stan, choke, gold necklace. And
that makes perfect sense to me. I can make a story out of that.
Yep. Okay. So I was talking to my friend and I was like, well, I'm going to write that. So I just jot shit down and then we fill in the blanks. For like a series, Yeah, I have a general outline, but it's not really tight. When I'm writing a book, original, I will have fucking sticky notes and timelines and everything because you got to keep everybody, you got to keep them in line.
So I'm guessing your original fiction is angsty.
Yeah.
Do you do happy endings in your original fiction? Okay.
Yeah. I gave myself, I love Smanx. I love angst. So if you put that, because I feel like that's real life. No one gets through their life without some angst, I did give myself a challenge to write an actual romance. So Whatever It Takes is my romancy romance book.
Okay.
And there's a happy ending for like every character. And I was just like, I can't believe everyone got out of this book okay. Like, and they're
alive. Kill everyone did not apply to this. I'm assuming
not
was
everyone
there any
died. Yeah, it worked out. So I can do that. I they're not all bad endings, No, and
I don't think such thing as a bad ending.
Like I was curious. Yeah, no, yeah. I was just curious because like with the happy, like most romance, like if you're going to write a romance novel, people are going to expect there to be a happy ending. Now, depending on what you write, original fiction can be varied. So there could be a lot of things that necessarily don't have a happy ending because it's not a romance. So I was just curious.
Get yelled at a lot. Like, why did this didn't come out? I wanted them to get together. I wanted this. I'm like, oh, listen, I don't have control over my characters. They just go where they go, and that's where they went.
It do be that way. Do any of you like when you talking about writing like horror fic and stuff? Any of your books horror books? I like me good horror.
Yes.
You link a bitch to some of your horror books.
Yeah, I'll send them over.
Thank you.
There's a lot of smut, and they're different. I haven't really like honed in on like.
Oh no, not porn. Whatever will I do? No, not porn in my horror books. That will be awful. Please don't send me that. Send me all of them. Fucking hell, I'll buy all of them.
I definitely will.
Aww.
So it just depends, and I got a lot of book ideas just like sitting around. I'm like, I'll get to eventually. I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, when you're talking about some of your fics, because I just highlighted a couple of like ones that I was like looking through, and they kind of run the gamut. So I was just like, it's funny because when you were talking about like kill everyone, like the first one that I have on my list was like it's called Sweet Creature, and it's like depictions of violence, major character death. And it does not end happy. Like it just doesn't. But it's also, but I like that you really had like, again, it's Demon Dean. So it's like this, you get to see the struggle of like the original female character and like, kind of going after, it's so funny. Cause like when I read these stories, I read it again. I'm like, I know I've read this story before. Cause I've read a lot of your stuff and I was like, and it stood out in my mind, like the journey she was trying to do to get him back situation. And he's so smarmy and so like full of himself, but like, that's just Demon Dean in such a great way too.
Did you hate him?
Of him. I love him. I love him so much. We did not get enough. And I think because we didn't get enough, a lot of people don't understand him. And I read some stuff sometimes and I'm like, that's not at all what was happening. Like, did you watch the same episode as me? Like, what are you doing? But maybe my interpretation was different, but I really love that. It's Dean on massive demonic steroids, he's still himself, but he's got no more cares. He's got no nothing. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to have fun. And it comes out as, an evil bastard, and it's amazing.
Did you is that kind of why you like, because you mentioned Michael Dean, is that kind of like the same kind of thread too, is like how bad can he get, or what kind of things can he do to like just piss everybody off and just not just do whatever the hell he wants, just burn everything to the ground?
Michael Dean, it's a very interesting, because that's not Dean.
Yeah.
So that's a complete different entity. I don't know what it was that Michael connected to in me, some kind of very dark kinkiness that I just latched onto with him. I really appreciate Michael Dean for Jensen's acting.
It was the suits, wasn't it? It was and that leather apron. You so rarely see a leather apron, but it was like,
don't even when he twirls that blade in that apron. Who's next? Me, please. Me.
I volunteer as tribute. It's me. Hi, it's me.
Volunteer.
Me.
Yeah. That for me is just a lot of the whole situation of Dean being trapped in this and this, and just Jensen's, what do they call him? Jensen acting choices, the Joyces. Like,
I've never heard that before. That's interesting. The Joyces. That's great.
I've never said it out loud before. It's Jackting Joyces. So they put the J in front of them.
That's great though. Yeah. He does make you think sometimes, like, what is he going for in some situations? And sometimes they're just right. Like, they just feel right when you see it. But it's like, some people just wouldn't have gone that way, like with certain things.
Yeah. He's so good. He's so good. I could
one
do
of
podcast about that. Okay.
One of my proudest things. I can't even remember who I was. Oh no, it was on Tumblr. I tagged you in it, actually, Sandra. I wrote a Demon Dean so reprehensible that Sandra hated him. And Sandra is an absolute Dean. Dean is her blobber. Dean is her guy. And she was like, I actually hate him. And I'm like, I'm going to put that on my real life CV. It's not going to help me get a job. I just want to put it there. And she's going to be like, I once wrote an iteration of Dean that my bestie hated.
Well, we had to do a whole like episode about it where I was breaking down, like, because again, it was because of what was happening with Sam, what he was doing to Sam. I was just so very that was making me like I couldn't wrap my brain around it. Like understanding more about, again, it's a whole thing. You should listen to the episode too. Well,
definitely.
I'll make sure you listen to that. But yes, that one.
Yeah,
that one is very dark. That is a very dark fic. Very dark.
I want it.
Shameless self promotion. It's my demonic junkies. It's my demonic junkie series. It's on AO3.
I love that. Okay.
And it's it started out as porn, and then you know how these things go, and then suddenly you're like 60,000 words in, going, I don't know how this happened. What?
Like, oh shit, there's a story behind this smut. Yes.
Yeah. No, so what I've managed to do is I managed to break it into itty bitty, teeny tiny little pieces, and I've managed to piece like about 4 of them back together, but there's a lot of pieces still scrambling around. So it's on track to be fixed, but it is not fixed yet. But it is Blood Junkie Sam, Demon Dean Winchester.
I love it.
And
I love everything about those sentences.
Think it will be up your alley for sure.
Yes, I'm in. I'm 1,000% in.
Kasey found their voice. Kasey found their voice. I'm like, I will follow you. Maybe not everywhere, but I will read it because I know you're a great writer. But it's definitely, it's always nice to see when somebody finally, like, again, gives themselves permission to write something that's very, again, like some people like absolutely gravitate for it and love it. And then other people, like, you're really pushing, but because you know that they care about the characters, that's the big part of it for me. Like, I know you're not doing this just because you're no,
there's a reason.
There's a reason behind it too, situation. And I think that was really, really great about that. But yeah, I would definitely suggest that if you like your dark stuff, that's dark. And they are working on a happy ending. It's going to take a bit, but they're on track to it at some point.
It's
just give me the darkness. That's good.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna be like. You can quit at any time when it starts looking hopeful.
Stop. You let me know when the happy comes and I'll stop right before that. That's good.
I wouldn't even say the happy is there yet as it stands. There's just there's an opening for it. There's an opportunity for it. Yeah, it's potential. You can see it on the horizon, but it's not there yet.
Where before you couldn't even figure out how that's even a possibility. Yeah. Like, there's so much to fix.
That's going to be good. Yeah, I'm in already.
Yeah.
Like, if I say to you that there is an internal conflict between Sam about how it is possible to be raped when you are the penetrating partner.
I love it. I love it so much. I want it.
Yeah.
That says something about me, but I'm in. I'm in.
John, I've considered this extensively. What the fuck is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?
Listen, but I fight a lot of people because how could you do that? How could you want that? Listen, it just is what it is. If it's something I want to see, I'm not doing it. I'm not a serial killer in real life.
Well, don't you think that's weird that, like, I think people honestly think that, like, everything you write is, like, based off of, like, I just, like, I hear that from people sometimes. Like, they're like, but why would you write that? And I'm like,
Why
But
not?
why wouldn't you? Like, why
Why
wouldn't
not?
you explore something in the safety of writing? Like, that's a thing that, you know,
Absolutely.
it's weird. It's so weird sometimes. I don't think people understand it unless they write. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I think
Yeah,
from the
maybe.
outside, it's
Yeah.
harder to see that, you know, that's an outlet, that's an expression, that's a way to try things out. Like, and even just like smut wise, like I think people think everybody's just like, you know, smutting it up like behind this, like in real life. It's like,
everyone's got a fucking Christian Grey red room. With, like, no, like
some
that
of
shit
us
takes
do.
laundry. And I mean, yes, some people do, and I'm not.
some
I'm
people
not
are
knocking
doing
that at all.
laundry in between the rooms. Like that's what's happening. Like
Yeah,
they go and get the
okay.
laundry
Yeah, but
done.
I've had like
Yeah.
some of us have small children, and you know, and like some of us have to do like I don't think people understand the amount of laundry that comes with kinky sex. All right, I just don't think that is written about enough in fictional media. There's a lot of it. You got to launder a lot of sheets. It's a mess. I ain't got time for that.
Just for you, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna do the after the smut thing. I'm gonna write that down.
The aftermath.
Aftermath. That's what it's going to be called. Okay. I have actually had people be like, "Well, you're like a porn star." I'm like, "Do you honestly think I'm doing this?"
I'm sorry you were born with no imagination.
I'm
Must
sorry.
be terrible.
I think at one point I've written some of the stuff I've done. Okay, because you got to draw from real life.
That's
so
it. Some stuff you've done.
Yeah.
So at one point I was like, yeah, a couple of them are real. Like I do draw. And so now occasionally I'll get somebody like, was this one of the ones? Was this real? Yeah. Yeah. Dean and I fucked in an alternate universe. That was definitely something that happened.
Yep.
And my husband and I are time travelers. Yeah. Great. Like,
yeah, no, that's the thing. You can't say that. You can't be like, some of it is real, because everyone's going to be like, is this one that? But no.
I like to have that little mystery. I like to think of myself as like a cult figure, like an underground. Like, is she a porn star? Yes,
Maybe,
I am.
Maybe. Maybe. That's it.
I'm a dominatrix on my other life. Yes.
Goodness.
On weekends, on weekends and bank holidays. That's where the money is, people. Weekends and bank holidays.
Hell yeah.
When I was looking at your fics and I was looking at like Sweet Creature and we were talking about like the original female character, I could see that the hits are not big on that. And then when you get into the next one, smut, all the smut, rightly so, it's help you out. When Dean finds out that YN has never been pleased orally, he convinces her to let him have a go.
Oh, I remember that. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that was, like, so I get where you were saying, you know, like some stuff hits. So do you think if you'd written Sweet Creature as a reader insert, do you think that would have done different, been better? Okay. It's just,
absolutely.
It's just amazing.
And maybe it's because people know me as a reader insert writer. But absolutely, if that had, and there's always a moment when I'm doing an OC going, can't I just make it reader insert so people will read it? And then it's like, no, because that's not going to work for this. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I definitely think that would have done better.
Yeah.
It was good. But
People be fickle, man. It's weird.
Yeah. I used to really get upset about it, like genuinely. And now I'm like, well, I know there's a handful of people that are going to read this and love it. So write it for them.
And then there was a really quick one with a Wincest smut with a bang. That also
God.
did really well. Like the Winchester's ringing the new year in a very hot way. And it was a very hot way.
I have all of these open in tabs.
It's short.
Sandra
it's
sent
only
me,
like 1,000 words. Yeah. So it's like, it's
It's a quickie. That's a good one.
It's a quickie.
Sandra sent me like a list. She's like, I've picked these out. They're pretty short if you want to read them. And I open them up with all the best of intentions. But when people come on that I'm not as familiar with their work, like obviously I know you from the Jacklesverse Discord and stuff. But when I'm not as familiar with their work, I always want to be like, tell me what you want me to read. Tell me what you're like most proud of. Tell me what you really love, what tropes you're at, like what tropes you love, where you're at. Like, tell me what you want me to see. I don't necessarily like to turn up and be like, oh, I read this and I read this. And
I agree. That's when you
tell
meet
me.
And I'm always like the new writers too. Like I get into moods where I really want to read and I'll go searching and I can't pick anything. So I'm like, hey, you write, what should I read? I don't know. It's like, just give me what you think. Now that I'm sitting talking to you, I have a Wincest. It's pretty bloody. I think it's a 3-parter. I'm going to send that one to you. angsty smut fan
Yes,
being.
please. See, I have a really dark and bloody Wincest, but unfortunately, it has one of those pesky, really happy, fluffy endings that I don't think you'll enjoy as much.
As long as there's a lot of blood, I'm good. We can ignore the fluff if there's enough blood.
They fuck in a warehouse full of vampire corpses.
Give it to me. I need that right now.
Okay.
Oh my God. We're gonna have a private chat after this. We'll just go back and forth.
Hit me up on Discord. We'll just go back and forth and exchange fics. Like, oh my God, have you read this?
Oh, goodness.
Amazing. Yes.
I know what I'm doing Christmas break.
Oh, yeah. I'm on Christmas break as well. We're going to exchange some
my
stuff. It's going to be great.
Oh my goodness.
Love it.
I will send you a Discord friend. I can't open Discord now because my computer will go meh, and Zoom will crash. It'll be a nightmare.
Going off. I'm like, I'm talking. Shut up. No phone.
Shush, I'm busy.
I'm busy talking about smut. Okay.
But then there's another one. There's a soulless Sam Winchester. Reader insert. Just say yes. Sam's acting weird, but is it enough to deny him what you secretly always wanted? Again, it's a little bit of everything. It's just like, it's like a smorgasbord. And then another one that I picked out was Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Demon Dean reader and soulless Sam reader. Sorry. 2 Winchesters, 1 reader. You do the math. And then there's the other one that I picked out was, and I was thinking of Kasey about this, Sam Winchester reader, A Dark and Stormy Night. And it's a summer. I was like, wow. A summer storm has YN trapped in her motel room with a bottle of wine and a trashy romance novel. All is well until a stranger arrives needing her help. So again, this is more like you would say like a rape fantasy sort of scenario situation, but it was very, very, very consensual kink, sexual role play. You don't tag heavy. Is that because you just have so much work that you're trying to put on AO3 and you're like, screw this, I don't have time to tag all this
stuff? Sometimes. I don't love to tag so much because I think you lose a lot of it. You lose a lot of it. I've been yelled at a few times because a lot of my I have written rape, and hard stuff. A lot of it is non-consensual, consensual kink, however you reverse that. It kind of kills the story sometimes. Yes, CNC. So stuff like that. Like I have a couple where like they're role playing a vampire scene and Dean comes in and like attacks her. And it's very rough and I'm writing the story. But at the end, if you go to the end, they're in love and they're sweet. And they talked about this yesterday and it's consensual. Like, so tagging for me is rough. Like I know AO3, you really got to tag and I do my best, but sometimes I don't want to. Yeah.
No, I get it. It's interesting how different authors approach that too, because we've had some authors that are like, they tag light, they tag heavy, or they feel like maybe like the warnings part of like might be the most important and the tags aren't necessarily as important. So it's like, if up top, so everybody's got a different approach to it. I think a lot of it too,
use the up top ones. Yeah. I think that's important.
Yeah. I did notice that, but I was like, but you have been saying also, you go from, putting your stuff on AO3 is a process. So I could see too, where it's like, as long as I'm hitting the beats, that's what I'm going to do in the tags part too, as well.
I'm in the process of kind of, again, those 1,200 fics sitting there. Yeah. So I'm in the process of moving a lot of that over to the archive. But now on Tumblr, I'm posting a fic a week. So I'll post it to Tumblr and then real quick at the same time, I'm putting it on AO3. So that's a little easier now. Yeah. So the newer stuff, but tagging is just, it's such a pain. If I'm reading a Stephen King, I know what Stephen King writes. I know what I'm going to get. If you've been reading my stuff for 10 years, you kind of know what you're going to get. So do I have to tag it? I don't know.
Yeah, it might be more for like somebody like just introducing, like, like that sort of like introduction to it too as well. But you never know where their entrance ramp is too, like to your stuff as well. So it's difficult. It's difficult. Well, since you and Kasey are going to be exchanging the darker stuff, I will send you an OFC of mine that I really love and I appreciate. So I'm gonna send you that. So
send me everything. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, all of the things.
Because I would love to get I would love you to read something and just like get your thought on it. But
of course.
I really do appreciate I have a soft spot for original characters too, because I think it's interesting to kind of take on putting a little bit of yourself into them, but then also trying something different with a character.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun to do. I'm going to let Kasey ask their questions now because they have.
Yeah, it's my turn. It's my turn.
I'm scared. Okay.
You don't got to be scared. Don't worry about it. Okay. So this one's just if you want to share, it's not a problem. If you don't, if it's none of our business. But how'd you come up with your username?
Oh, it's a long time ago, I think. Well, I didn't know I don't know. I picked it out of a hat. No, I've always been a dreamer, and I think the core of writing is like being a dreamer. You know, it's just imagination and whatnot. And the Impala is like, that is the key of the show, I think. Baby is, another main character. So I just smushed them together. I didn't really think about it that deeply,
Yeah, it's okay. That's totally fine.
I think it fits you. I think it fits you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think I lose a lot of new readers because like if I'll put up a Marvel fic, they'll be like, well, what does Impala Dreamer, a supernatural writer, know about Bucky? And I'm like, listen, I know about Bucky. Like,
listen.
I know.
I've spent time in the fucking trenches with broken men. Oh, I know about Bucky. Goodness. All right.
Oh, the broken man with the big eyes and the long hair. I'm in. Yeah. So it wasn't like a major thought. I just kind of picked it. So.
Yeah. No, it's totally fine. Sometimes it do be like that. I would just like to, just curious. Just want to know.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No one's ever asked that before.
Oh, yeah, look. I would imagine no one's ever asked you this question, but you do have children, so maybe. Okay. But don't panic. This question is not about supernatural. It's not about fanfic. It's not about writing. It's not about anything else. This one's the not so secret one anymore because people keep listening to the episodes and ruining it for me. Beka. Adults don't ask other adults this question enough, and I'm on a one mortal mission to change that. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh God. I always loved the Brontosaurus from The Land Before Time when I was a kid. That's a great movie. So Brontosaurus.
It is.
Yeah, I'll stick with the Brontosaurus.
The little with the tree star.
Yeah, oh, and the tree star. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Yeah,
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Oh my God. No one else, whenever I bring that up, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
oh my gosh. Tree star. You don't understand. The tree star.
The rain goes into it. Oh God. Okay. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, Brontosaurus. Yeah.
Brontosaurus. That's great.
This is so cute to see you both bond and then fall out and then bond again and then fall out and then have it just always come back together again. This is the sweetest thing over like the course of like 2 hours.
It's a roller coaster with me.
It is.
You never know what you're going to get.
It's pretty emotional. It's pretty emotional. I gotta watch.
Cried.
I gotta watch The Land Before Time now.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm like, yeah, we got to find that. Oh my God. Yeah. We'll do a watch party.
I own it on DVD. I got to show it to my youngest.
Beka, we have kept you for 2 hours. It's been lovely.
Really?
It's been awesome.
I had so much fun.
Yes.
Before
because I'm going to call you back and be like, talk to me about Sam Winchester.
Yeah.
He looks amazing when he falls over.
Yes. I'll be on the next episode too. Call me anytime. If you're bored, just have me pop in.
No, we'd love it. Like if there's like a topic or something like, maybe we want to have you back or just to come back and chat. We'd love it because we always like to have people. It's always an open invitation, and we're just trying to like bring people back more and like catch up and see what's going on. Or again, like if there's a topic and we're like, this person might be a good person to talk to about this thing, that we might see, if you've got availability to come back and talk to us.
I am not a reacher outer, so don't take that as an offense. If you want me, you know where I am, and I'll be here. I had fun. This is awesome. I'll do it again.
Amazing.
I wanted to ask you, what words of wisdom would you leave for fellow writers who might be listening and are having a tough time? Maybe they can't find their inspiration, or they're just like, why the heck am I doing this thing? So what would you tell other writers out there?
I think one of the biggest problems a lot of people have is finding that inspiration, and they're chugging along. And sometimes it's just like, why am I bothering? Take a break. Even writer's block, take a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Don't force yourself. If it's not, you can tell when somebody forced themselves to write something. Take a break. You'll come back to it. Sometimes I go and do laundry. I wash dishes, then I get an idea. Come back to it.
Yeah.
Don't force yourself. Write what is in you. Write what is inside of you to write. If you want to write fluff, write the fluff. If you want to write dark, kinky, nasty murder, do it.
Kill everyone.
Kill everyone.
Yeah.
I really want to name it that, but I know I won't be able to get it.
Oh my God.
YouTube will not be our friend if we do that, unfortunately. But I also really want to name it that.
Oh God.
Just write what's in yourself to write, and do it for you or do it for your best friend, someone that, just make yourself happy with it. I think it's
the community at the end of the day. Like, as much as we talk about there's a smaller community that I think people forget about. Like, there's that group of people that writing, having Kasey to, have be my buddy, even just with this podcast, doing this thing together, but then also having that person that that if you write something, even if it's not necessarily their cup of tea, they're going to take the time to write it because they believe in you and they love how you write. And I think that at the end of the day is really what's important. You just have to you have to find your people, and they don't have to, it's not going to be everybody because you can't please everybody. And I think that's probably the problem that a lot of writers, maybe, especially starting out, run into. Like I say, if they put it out there and it doesn't get a lot of attention, maybe even just try a different place, try a different area, and just kind of do the thing. Yeah.
Don't get, don't give up because someone didn't read it, And I think for writers and readers, we're in a very unique position. I can't read a book. I can't read Stephen King and then go talk to him about it. And he's not getting direct feedback from me for reading it. We can do that here.
And we crave it,
people
right?
need to do that.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. It's a community. This is social media. And without the social part, we're just yelling into the void. We got to make it a community again. We got to, kick out the hate, bring back the love, share your stories, share your ideas, share stuff you love, and don't give up, because it's a great thing to do. You're giving a piece of yourself to the world. And if the world takes it, great. If they don't, you've still done it. And it's something to be proud of. So keep writing, keep drawing, keep murdering everyone.
That's excellent.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's excellent.
Thank you so much for taking time, especially just a few days before Christmas and stuff. It's been really great getting a chance to just talk to you after having followed you for so long. It's been great to get a chance to do that.
I've had the best time.
And
me too.
I'm looking forward to narrating your fic. I got it. It's in my Kindle, so I'm going to work on that within the next couple weeks. I hope you like. Have you ever had anybody podfic anything of yours? Okay, good.
No, I'm going to cry. This is so special for me and so awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. No, I look forward to it. I love being able to do a thing, and hopefully I can. Hopefully I'll do it. I'll do it justice. But yes, I
was listening to you do the last one you posted. I listened to a little bit, and I'm going, maybe she could audiobook my next novel.
You know what? If you want,
Sandra does freelance narration.
I do.
I know.
Narration.
I was like, I think we're going to have to discuss that.
I would love to discuss that. I literally, and I did this again, I've been doing it for about 2.5, 3 years now. So I've gotten better at it, but I did my original fiction. It was called Cowboy Cantor a couple years back. I just decided to narrate it because I have books that have been narrated by other people, so I know the process and everything. I was like, why don't I just try to do it? And it wasn't the great, but I did it, right? And it's just but getting that opportunity to try it and do it, and I'm just I can do the thing. And then I got a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better.
That's
it's
awesome.
Fun. Smut is fun, and smut is fun.
You have the voice for it.
Thank you.
Also, one that Sandra narrated is Rabbit's Scream by Quick Reaver, which is honestly phenomenal. It's
I've been scanning the Spotify. What am I going to listen to next?
Yeah, it's
good.
It's not smut, but it's fucking phenomenal.
Ooh,
yeah, and I mean, not everything has to be. Yeah, I mean, I think
not everything has to be smut, but I'm that's so good. I love that one.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting more of an
Listen,
appreciation,
definitely.
I think, for general fiction too. Like we've talked about that too. Like, kind
Yeah.
of coming in with the smut, but then really, what did we say, Kasey? Like, came for the smut, stayed for the story. Like that's kind of like the thing now. It's like, because you just get more of an appreciation for all the different types of writing that come out. And some people are really great at doing both of those things. And I think that's awesome.
I enjoy that better. Like, yeah, if you want to write a really quick, really hot pornographic scene, that's fine. But like, I try to put emotion into my smut. I want to have a little bit of a story. Like, you gotta make it interesting. There's only so many ways you can stick a thing in a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
it's finite. At the end of the day, there are literally only so many ways.
There's only so many things we can do. So
then you do the generator thing, and you come up with what, choking and a gold necklace.
There's a new photo shoot, and it's just like a peek of the gold chain on his neck, and I'm like, I want him to do things with that. Like, okay,
yeah.
All right. You guys are truly awesome. I have honestly like so flattered that you won't talk to me and like this is awesome.
Absolutely. So. I mean, I'm so glad you said yes. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And it's always great to make a new friend this way, through the podcast. Totally. I feel like it's a great avenue 100%. For it. Yeah. But yes, whenever you feel ready to, please feel free to exit. If you need me to boot you out, I will not report you to Zoom. And then we were going to do our outro on the other side. So
all right, I'll leave you now.
Have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy time with your family and all those things. Thank you for taking the time.
Happy Christmas.
Yes.
We'll see you soon. I just waved at you like you could see me.
I do that all the time. Don't even worry about it. All of the time.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, that was fun.
It's going to be literally forever. That's
fun. That's so great.
That was great.
That was so funny the way you guys were going back and forth. Like yes, no, yes, no. Wait a minute. Oh, now we're gonna wait.
What do you mean you're deleting 6? No, the fuck you're not. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Kasey, I love getting the opportunities to talk to people that like we've just known about. You know what I mean? And then really getting a chance to do it. And I know there's been some people who've been hesitant to do it, but when they do take the plunge and do it, it's so great to get a chance to talk.
It's amazing. I know I keep saying it like, oh, if we get this person, we'll have made it. If we get this person, we'll have made it. But it's so fucking cool to like have people come on and they're like, we're sitting here going, oh my God, I can't believe we're talking to you. And they're sitting there going, oh my God, I can't believe you wanted to talk to me.
And it's just like, why wouldn't we? It's like, it's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah. She was great though. My gosh. Like, and I was like really taken aback too by like, just like her attitude towards like, gets so divisive and gets so, we just pigeonhole things so much now. And like her just write what you want to write. This is what I like to write. This is, just being open to that and not being like, no, you know what I mean? Like that stamp of no, but just having that. Yeah, it's so refreshing.
Attitudes like Beka, like, write what makes you happy and, it doesn't matter. I think that's good. I think we need more of that. More of ship and let ship, less not in my backyard.
And make it a community again. I liked that too. Where I think, and again, like her being in the fandom for so long, fandom space, and seeing how it's changed too. Yeah, you could see how that becomes, you're riding a roller coaster too. Like, what's happening now, what's going on now, what's in vogue now, right? Like and seeing that change and that dip and then how people engage with it, I think it's interesting, but you have to be in it for the long run, right? Like I think if you really love what you do, I think you're in it for the forever. Like she said, got my claws in, got its claws in me, and she can't get out of it.
SPN never lets you go, guys. Once you're in, that's it. You're in for life. You don't leave. The Hotel California of fandoms.
Oh, but this has been great. We are going to wrap up though soon because it's been a day. We've done a couple episodes, so we are going to let Kasey get to sleep maybe soon because it's late. It's late in the UK. So
Red Bull, I'm fine.
Thank you for listening and let us know what you thought of the episode. You can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. Comment on Spotify in the Q&A section. Leave a YouTube comment. Join our Discord and chat with fellow idlers and us in real time. Check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlingintheimpala.com. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider joining us on Ko-fi for as little as $1 a month. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers and would love to have you along for the ride.
Speaking of perks, we've got special shout outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From Shotgun Picks and Music tier, we've got Crowley's Mistress, Runaway Dreamer, and Sam and Dean 76. From our own Mrs. Butters tier, we've got Charlie. Thanks for picking the tunes in the car and keeping the lights on in the bunker. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Thank you. Don't forget, you can always support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithm. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So from me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And the main causes that we are highlighting, championing, spotlighting are World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, what they mean to us, check out idolatingtheimpala.com. There is a page there called Cause is Cause with all the details. And with that, we will say thank you so much to Beka for joining us. Thank you for joining us in the back seat. And we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.